Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican police service Latina.
That's literally not true.
Is that correct?
I didn't ask you to interrupt me. Oh, for crumb's sake.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, friends, to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. Happy Thursday, Podcast Thursday to you. If you weren't counting, sorry, let me scoot my chair over a bit. There we go. Welcome one and all. Mindy FS, good morning to you. Good morning. Nice to have you here. Welcome. Mindy, I couldn't help but notice you were here first before everyone else, and you were talking before everyone else. Clearly, you've got a lot of energy, excited for the day. We're going to capitalize on that, and we're going to punish you for your promptness, for your eagerness, for your exuberance, and we're going to sentence you to internet ownership. That means everything IP-related worldwide is your responsibility. So that off our shoulders, we can now move forward. Mindy, you're going to do great. You're going to do great. Don't worry about it. Always excited to be here, says Mindy. Yeah, talk to me after an hour or two. See, once the calls start coming in, and we'll see how it goes. But good morning. How did the bathroom renovation? You guys, we're making progress. First of all, Mrs. Ari and I went to the store, and we got the paint and the primer the other day. And I primed it yesterday. I painted it last night, right before the podcast with Josh Ritter on Courtroom Confidential, which hopefully you watched. If you didn't, you want to go back and watch that. It is so much fun to hang out with him. He's great. I love those guys. Tiffany, Josh, Kai, thank you very much for the invite. I always love being on that show. So I painted. I quickly showered because I was covered in paint. It was one of those times where you paint so much that more ends up on you than the wall. But it looks brilliant because we tinted the primer and then matched the paint. Now, the only thing I have left is I have to paint the ceiling, which I've got the lights pulled down and everything because they're like the flat mount LED style lights. So I've got those pulled down. I'm going to paint the ceiling today because we only have a half a day today, remember? So I paint the ceiling today, and as soon as it stops dripping on me, I can install the flooring. And once the flooring's in, then we can seat the toilet at the sink, install the shower walls, and we're basically done, is what I'm saying. We're basically done, which means it'll probably take about 2 more weeks to finish, in all truthfulness. But, yeah, so another, oh my goodness, Walsman 31. Yesterday we called the AC guy. He came out twice yesterday and once the day before. So $750 later. It is working. It worked all night long because it was still cooling down because it was still 110 degrees up in our attic. So it took a while to cool things down, but it was 76 upstairs last night, which is beautiful, which is perfect. I mean, it's not like heaven, but it's perfect. So it's working, and it's working this morning, and I have no complaints in life. I mean, the bathroom's almost done. Air conditioning's working for the first time in 2 years. I'm super excited. So, all right. Life is good. Thanks for asking. Walls before ceiling. I do, Kimby, but only because I need the lights to see, and I wasn't sure if I was going to paint the ceiling white. We decided to do the entire room in the same color, only because this color seems to. It appears different, so it looks like it's different depending on how you look at it. It's not like one of those mirage colors, but it will work. We've tested this out. Good morning, Just a Girl Baking. Good to have you here. Welcome. Finally caught up on replay and can watch live with all you nice folks. Sherry, that's wonderful. Thanks, Cherry. great interview with Josh. Josh is amazing. He's so much fun to hang out with and follow all the stories. I told him, I said, I have to dip before Diddy. I said, I can't stick around for the Diddy talk. So I did. I dipped out before then, but yeah, it's like that's what I'm not following for sure. Anyway, we're going to get started. We're going to be going to court in a little bit. We're not ready yet. It's going to be a bit. I think we've got about half an hour before they actually do anything there. But we'll keep an eye on that. Please add Amy to the birthday list. Apple Treasure, thank you. We'll add Amy. Who was it? Who was it? Somebody sent me a video of their wife making an argument in front of a council board or... let's see who it was. Not that one. Wait for it. It was a proud husband saying, look what my wife did. It was Brandon. Maggie was awesome. I watched that video. Maggie was awesome. I love it. Anyway, it was an argument about a development that was proposed and passed and had some issues. And anyway, it was really good. It's probably not true crime related, but watching somebody get up and make an argument like that, it's not necessarily court, but it's really cool. Can you turn your volume up a tad, please? I can turn it way up. How high do you want it? Am I a little quiet? Check 1 2 test 1 2. I'm a tiny bit. I'm like teensy tiny bit. Let's see, where am I coming out of? 1 2. It's 3. So let me crank 3 up just one notch. How about that? Is that a little better? Test 1 2. Another couple notches. 1 2 3. Test 1 2. I don't hear a difference. That's obviously not the one.
It's Walmart.
Let's try 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. That's it. Found it. We're on 2. All right. Currently in Tokyo, Japan, on a school trip. Momo, that sounds awesome. Buy some trinkets while you're there. Saw you last night, RA, says Heidi. You and Josh put on a great show. I love it. Josh got a new backdrop. I would say backdrop. He traded in the Temu backdrop. No, it wasn't Temu. I think it was IKEA. Traded an IKEA one for a proper one with lighting, and it looks awesome. It just looks awesome. And he did the whole, oops, we're having technical difficulties when he filmed that in his old backdrop and then cut to the new backdrop with it working, which was just funny. He was so nervous about the video. I shouldn't probably tell you this, but it's always nervous when you're making a change like that in the studio. I can relate. He said that I'm so nervous. I'm like, I feel you. I've done that. It's wild, but it was great. Loved it. AC is fixed. It is working. It is working hard to keep us cool. If you looked online, it's like a public service announcement. Maybe we should save this for the podcast, but if you heard that the National Weather Service released information on how to cook lasagna in your mailbox due to the heat wave, it's actually not true. Don't try to do it unless you have. Test. I hear you. It's working. It's working. You're good.
Podium test.
Yeah, that one's working too.
Defense test.
That's a little quiet on that one.
State test.
That's there. I hear you. They're all on. Thank you.
Test.
Yes.
Murdoch stole it.
Good?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. All right. It's a test. We have to get the test done.
Someone with more experience.
Kaylee, thanks. Hang on. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, you can't cook lasagna in the mailbox. You cannot cook lasagna in the mailbox. You can, if it is pre-cooked, you can heat it in the mailbox. But if you get the raw stuff that needs to be baked for a few hours and you put it in the mailbox, you will get sick and it will not be good. Plus, you'll probably also damage your mail. So don't cook from raw lasagna in the mailbox. It should only be used for reheating purposes or for the heat and serve type, not the cook and serve type. So, and then, of course, you'll have to tell the mailman not to open it because that lets the heat out. So until it's done cooking. Anyway, Postmaster General will prosecute. Yeah, it's probably against the law to put anything other than mail in your mailbox. So there's that as well. But Elizabeth said, what did I just walk into? We're talking about mailbox lasagna. And I'm having a conversation with myself to test the mics in court. What if I ate some mail lady here? Hey, if it's ready, help yourself. I mean, it's clearly there for the serving. Let's see. I need to do a watch of last night. The case is so odd. Zero evidence except dark video and the teens' testimonies. KPE, as Josh and I talked this over, things were coming to me, and I'm looking at this case a little differently today than I did before. Meanwhile, hang on, I've got to get something ready over here. I basically tried to envision what it would take, and if it would be possible. Oh, I forgot birthdays. How did I forget birthdays? There it is. Amy Renee, Everything Tumblr Tutorials by Rebecca. There we go. That's good. Rebecca, we might have to shorten this somehow. Can we just say Rebecca, but it's Everything Tumblr Tutorials by Rebecca. I think we're just going to say Rebecca, if that's okay. We're going to sing Happy Birthday, and then we're going to talk about the case. Happy birthday. You look good. And where this can go. Because I think we're in for a surprise. I really do, and I'll tell you why. All right. Amy, Renee, and Rebecca. That's who we got. Okay. All right, everyone, stand up, take a deep breath, shoulders back, project your voice to the back of the room, blend your voice with the neighbors, warm up with me if you will. La 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 la. There we go. I found it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amy, Renee, and Rebecca. Happy birthday to you. Amy, Renee, and Rebecca, happy birthday. I realize there are a million places you could be, a million people you could be celebrating with, but you chose to be here with us. The privilege, the pleasure, the honor is ours. Hopefully we can bring some of the joy we feel and return it back to you. Make your day a little more specialer. Begin by helping yourself to free pancakes at Denny's, IHOP, Village Inn, Waffle House, McDonald's, Tammy Dunlap's house. Oh, we already said Village Inn. You can go there twice. Andy's Grill and Bob Evans. I missed somebody. Village Inn, Waffle House, McDonald's. I don't know, just all the places. Let's see. Buffer, add Frodo the dog. Happy birthday, Frodo the dog. Whose dog is Frodo? Happy birthday to you. Who's a good boy? Happy birthday to you. Who's a good boy? Happy birthday, dear Frodo the dog. Happy birthday to you. There you go. I sang to a dog. You know you sang with me. Happy birthday, Frodo. Whose dog is Frodo? I'm looking for it. Frodo, you get pancakes as well, but I'm not sure about the syrup, if that's good for you or not. I think you missed IHOP. It was probably IHOP. Lois said, I had a dog named Frodo. Josh, is it your dog? My cat's name is Bilbo. Kathy says, thank you, Recovery Addict. Mr. Frodo's my service dog and my bestest friend. There it is. I was looking for whose dog it was. We've got a drum solo coming up, though. Everyone get ready for this one. Here we go. Big finish. Beautiful. Happy birthday to all who are celebrating. Thank you. Love getting started like that. Hey, that's cool. Hang on, I'm just checking something. 1 second. Okay. All right. We've got audio. Just making sure we have video. Hey guys, how are you doing?
Happy birthday. You look good.
Where's 8? 8 is there. We're going to put this one there. 8 is up there. We go back to 2 over here. We're rerouting everything. Hold, please. Don't want that. This was yesterday's. Okay, all right, we're just about ready. All right, all right. Okay, I want to hear what you were going to say before birthdays. Oh, it was about the lasagna. Wasn't it about lasagna? Oh, no, it was about the case. It was about the case. We'll talk about the case really quickly. I think we have heard a story that makes it look like Mr. Raul Valle is guilty, right? Searching for a knife, looking for a fight, stabbing everybody in sight. Basically, that's the story the state's been telling, or the witnesses have been telling. But they've also been telling another story, and that is, we don't tell on our friends. That's what I've heard. We don't tell on our friends. We don't rat people out. He's the one guy we're all united against, but we don't say anything bad about our friends. And we're not going to say if they did something bad, I don't recall it. If they did something first, I don't recall it. If they did, anything else, if they were involved, I don't recall. That has come through quite strongly. Okay, we've counted. There are so many I don't recalls in this case. I think when defense gets up, they're going to tell a different story, and they're going to have to tell it with Raul. He's got to take the stand, in my opinion. And normally that's a terrible idea for a defendant to take the stand. It usually does not work out for them. Self-defense is different, though. He has to take the stand. He has to be honest and believable. This is key. This is where he can distinguish himself from almost every other witness who has taken the stand as far as the attendees of the party go. But if he takes a stand, answers the questions, is believable, and tells a story that is different from what the others told, I think his one story will outweigh all the others. I really think it will. And if he tells the story that he was not looking for a fight, they were just goofing off in the first one, the kid wanted to fight, they fought. Okay? It was stupid, it was dumb, shouldn't have done it, it was over beer, it was a problem. Own up to that, and then say, I was expecting to be taken to this other place. The driver took us here. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't know we were going. I didn't know what was up. I was in the car. They came out and surrounded the car. I was scared for my life. I was worried. They're shaking the car. They're throwing things at us. I'm like, give me your knife. Worried I have to protect myself. Worried this crowd, this mob is going to kill us. And when the car takes off, I got out of the car, right? And then they came to us. And, it's some version of that can make the story a little bit different. I don't know if all those facts are true. I'm just sort of putting something that potentially could be out there. It doesn't make it right, and it still is going to be very difficult to explain why you stabbed 4 people in 30 seconds in self-defense, especially considering I don't know. I just think we're going to hear from the defense a different story, and it's going to shed a different light on the whole situation. And if it's done in a manner that is believable by the jury, I think this guy could walk. Whether or not that's a good idea, I don't know. All right, where were we? I've got some people I need to recognize. First of all, surprise, surprise, Kelly H, top of the list. Kelly, thank you very much for your daily support of the channel. Gifted a membership. That's huge. That's huge. That sets the tone for the whole day. I appreciate that. Thank you. Darlene, 63, gifted 5 memberships after that. Look what you started, Kelly. Look what you started. Meg Osborne, member for 23 months, member of the jury, says 23, love y'all. Next month, Meg, I will give you your own new color of courthouse. It's going to be pink. It's going to be pink. I'm so excited to give it to you. Thank you very much for your support. Raina, I saw you over there on Josh's last night, being generous with him as well. Thank you so much for your support of incredible people like Josh, and thanks for your support of our channel as well. Gifted 10 memberships here. Thank you, and love that you're representing Canada in a good way, because we love Canadians, even if Ian Runkle doesn't feel the same about us. I'm trying to play the soundbite, but I can't find it. Here it is.
Because we here in Canada hate you and hope for bad things for you. because we hate you.
Now, in context, he's talking about UPS and the huge rates they charge when we try to ship something from the United States to Canada. He doesn't hate Americans. I don't think Ian hates anybody ever. But anyway, thank you. We love Ian and Raina. Thank you very much. Brandy Joe, but didn't he get away and drive back? How is that self-defense if he came back? He wasn't the driver, and at least one, possibly two witnesses in the car so far have testified that they thought they were going somewhere else, and the driver took them to the second party. So there's that. I don't know. I just think there's more to this story that might be coming out here shortly. Okay, let me get everything situated here because we're going to be starting in about 7 minutes is what we expect court to start. Now remember, this is a short day. Let's see. That's yesterday. I think that's today. Yeah. All right, we're all set. We good. Okay. Checking my hard drive. I only have room for 56 more hours of recording on my hard drive, so it's time to clear up some space. All right, it's a half a day today. There's more. Those kids would not be up there acting like that if there wasn't. There's got to be more to the story. And the fact that nobody can recall, like you all forgot at the same time, the same things. You all forgot what anyone else did. I'm not buying it. Either you're lying about the 2 beers or you're lying about forgetting. I mean, if you had 8, I can hear you. If 7 or 8, you drank you polish off a 6-pack on your own. Maybe you have some problems remembering the occurrences that evening. I can see that. But all y'all had 2 beers. And I think you should remember a little bit more than you do. Why is it a short day? I think it has to do with either something the jury member has or something the court has, but it's a schedule conflict that makes it so it doesn't continue throughout the day. So half a day today, and then podcast tonight. So we're going to have a long afternoon off and then go to a podcast at 8 p.m. We are ahead of schedule. I think we're very close. I think we're close to being finished. Let's see. It's Thursday today. I think the state's going to be done, Friday? Maybe Monday? We'll have to listen to see the schedule. Josh says, I have a clip I request to watch before we leave today. It lasts 14 minutes and 8 seconds. Traffic formal hearing, 3B District Court, June 25th, 2025, out of Judge Middleton's court. Judge Middleton. Okay. Send me the link. We'll see if we can do it. Making Law Simple is here. Welcome, MLS. Will juror number 12 be sleeping again? Easy on the jurors. They had a rough night. I, however, did not. Yesterday I was quite sleepy because when it's 95 degrees at night, it's hard to sleep indoors. 95 degrees indoors at night, it's hard to sleep. Let's see. He went back with a weapon. He could have walked away. Him grabbing a weapon shows he wanted an edge with a larger crowd because they were outnumbered. But even with that, the other crowd started it. Having the weapon, I realize the weapon looks bad, but depending on the weapon, and we looked at Connecticut law just a little bit. Depending on the weapon, if it was the right kind of knife, meaning it was just like a regular pocket knife, like a fold open pocket knife, and the blade was 3 inches or longer, he legally could have that, and that would not be a problem. He could have it in his possession. He could have 100 of them in his possession. It wouldn't be a problem. Having the weapon is not the issue. Pulling it out and using it, if he only did it after he was attacked, the law might be on his side. And we know that the guy was standing over and punched him twice before anybody had been hit. Before he attacked anybody, at least what we heard from the other side. I wish we had the knife, but I'm thinking the knife probably was not the right type. Either it was too long or it was the type that might get him in trouble. It's convenient that it went missing. All right. Umbilical door is not kid talk. It's a Bilko, right? Can we rewatch the hot mic from yesterday? I missed that. I think someone's gotten in trouble for the hot mic. Not just media. I think somebody in the courtroom might be getting in trouble. And it could involve a bailiff. I don't want to... Let's do this. Let's let this trial end first. Okay? Let's let it end first, and then we'll look at the hot mic moment.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
Okay, let's bring Cord in, shall we not? Okay, we've got audio, we've got video, we've tested our mics already. Everything is good. Also, he wasn't driving. That's all right. Then explain what was said on hot mic. It sounded like possibly court staff, maybe counsel, talking with bailiffs. The only part I've played for y'all is the very beginning where they basically find out they get a long lunch. Just a part of it where they find out they get a long lunch and they are going to get a half day today. And he's like,
Hell yeah, bro. Come on, you deserve it.
Yeah, that's part of it. They're really happy about the long lunch break. We don't want bailiffs in trouble. Let's see. Heidi says, I respectfully disagree, PRA. Thank you, first of all, Heidi, for disagreeing. You even said Connecticut law is to disengage when you can. Alito didn't do that. Okay. Disengage when you can, but when he...
I'm not going to argue about semantics here.
Thank you. When he engaged, I've got to look at what we know about that. When he engaged, he had his shirt pulled up over his head, like his T-shirt was up around his head, and he was like, hey, I'm looking for so-and-so. It's literally goofing off. This is not like a fighting stance, like I'm ripping my shirt off. Where is he? Where's he at? You know, it's not that. His engagement was like goofing off in a funny way, and the response he got was somebody ripped his shirt off his head. He's like, hey, what'd you do that for? And then he got punched twice in the face. And so him re-engaging, he could say, this was different. That fight was behind me. It's like, yeah, it was what it was. It was over. You know, had no idea. I think there's something else to the story. Yes, he should have disengaged, but if somebody was standing over him and raining blows down, how do you retreat from that? I mean, you're actively being attacked by what we've heard 3, possibly 4 people. Getting up and running is not necessarily an opportunity, and especially if there were kicks being thrown to the head, that's life-threatening. One can kill somebody. One punch can kill somebody. So I think there might be. I'm not saying he was right. Okay, I'm just trying to look at it from the other side and saying there may be a story that's told about, from the defense vantage point that looks different than the story we've heard here.
I was told counsel wanted to see me at sidebar.
Always start with a sidebar. Yeah. Has the driver testified yet? I have not seen the driver yet. So, let's see. All defense needs to prove is that he was in fear of his life, that he didn't start it. I think that's important. And he did what he felt he needed to do just to escape, right? Just to get away, just to stop the attack. That's going to be hard, honestly. I don't know if I don't think they're going to be able to do that part because specifically with James McGrath, we have no testimony that he was involved in a fight. We have no video showing he was involved in a fight. If anything, he was just standing there watching. But I don't know. It's tragic. He was looking for a knife before they went back. I was looking for a knife during the podcast. Looking for a knife is not a problem. He didn't jump out of the car with a knife. I think the only time he showed the knife from the testimony I've heard is after he was attacked. And that might be legal. I did not interpret the shirt on his head as goofing off. He was asking for, who was he? Ayden? He was asking for Ayden, right? Where's Ayden? Where's Ayden? Where's Ayden? And he had his shirt pulled up. I don't know if I'll probably get a copyright strike if I show Beavis and Butthead. It's a cartoon, a stupid cartoon from way back in the day where or one of the characters pulls his shirt up around his head, so it's like the neck is around his face basically, and he's talking out of the. It's a goofy thing. I don't know how you can look at that and say, "Wow, he's here for a fight." I am Cornholio. Yeah, it's stupid. But Ricky C, no, much better place today AC wise. Power bill, there we'll have to talk, but you got to take in the situation though. He knew there was a conflict and the matters in the case. He did. I agree. This is a problem for the defense. But we had one witness who came from the first place, he got kicked out of the first place where he knew there was a fight, ended up riding in the car to the second place, and didn't know they were going there. He said, we thought we were going somewhere else, and the driver took us here. We were supposed to take a right. He took a left and took us back to some other place. I think that could be important for the defendant. If he also said, I wasn't planning on going, to a fight, but we'll see. Yeah, there's the exact quote. I wasn't going to use the whole thing, Rando from Iowa. Did your daughter enjoy first year at camp? She loved it. She was sad to leave it. But, okay, I think we're starting here in just a second. Let's give him a second to kick the audio in. Good morning, Your Honor. How are you doing? Good to have you here. Welcome. Can't hear a dang thing you're saying.
I am going to note for the record that the court did receive word from the clerk that a note had been passed in accordance with procedure by one of our jurors. That note does indicate that the juror would like to speak to the court regarding a potential issue. So at this point in time, I am going to be bringing that juror in. I want to make very clear the extent of the court media order, which is that there shall be no audio recording or visual recording or live streaming of any kind of jurors. So at this time, I am going to order that there be no media photographing or live streaming.
And now we go into quiet mode. We go into quiet mode right here. So audio's off. We're up at the ceiling. This when the judge says no live streaming, this is the acceptable response. Yes, technically we are live streaming, but going to a safe, locking the camera in a safe position, they have to do this because so many people are relying on the same feed, and if they just kill the feed, it breaks connections everywhere. Like alarm bells go off in different studios. So this is the acceptable connection or acceptable response. But we have a juror issue. We don't know what it is. I'm guessing it because we have not seen any jurors being shown on the camera. I'm guessing that this is most likely an exposure issue, where it's like, hey, I was on social media. Guess what? I saw a little video, and I know something. Or guess what? I went for a drive last night, stopped by the crime scene, and you guys completely have the picture wrong. That would be worse. Was he on the ground when he used the knife? Yes, at least for part of it. The witness yesterday kept looking at the jurors. Oh, Amber, great point. Remember the last witness that kept looking at the same person over and over and over. He could be like, "Oh, it's you. I didn't realize it was you." One of the jurors like, "Hey, just remembered I was at the party. Sorry, Brent probably should have said something sooner. I was at the party, but I only had 2 beers." He could have been looking at his lawyer, but it was over off to the left. Let me see if I can pull up a quick video from yesterday just to show you. Let's see, I think it was on 160. Okay. Wasn't the guy with the beard. It wasn't him. I think it's in 161. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me get my replay machine up. By the way, super excited about some equipment we're getting today for my gig that we're going up to Virginia for. A lot of the filming is going to be done on phones, and so I picked up this, which is the phone goes right in here, right? The phone mounts right in there, and so it's a carrier, a dual hand carrier. It's got a shotgun mic, and it's got one of these brilliant little lights that just can blind you, so I can record everything on the phone and have it nice and stable. And I also get new wireless mics today as well. What part of Virginia? We're going to be on some private property about 50 miles west of D.C., 55 miles west of D.C. I'll give you a link. I want to test it first. I don't. If you guys like that equipment, first of all, it's some of the more reasonably priced equipment, specifically with the microphones. I used to swear by the Rode wireless little transmitter microphones. These work great. I love them. I've used them a ton. But I went with a different brand this time after getting some great reviews from none other than Thal himself. You guys know Thal in chat. But we'll test them out. All right. Where was I? We were doing replay, right? Let's see. Let's go to camera 7. I don't need audio on this. We're just going to take it. Oops. Wait. We need full screen. Why do I not have full screen? Hang on. Oh. Now I've got audio. Checking full screen again. Grr. All right, we'll just have to do it this way, full screen this way. All right, so this is our defendant, our witness yesterday, and watch what happens as we scroll forward. With almost every question he was asked, he's asked a question, and he does this. Yes, listen. Yeah, whatever. And then watch his eyes turn first. Boom. See that? Boom. Lock his eyes right there. That is way over by the jury box. Way over by the jury box. Now, it isn't... He starts answering right as he's looking, so he's not waiting for a cue from somebody. It's somebody he knows. It's somebody that's a point of interest or something over there. Points out a bunch of stuff here. Yeah. There's our defendant again. There's the look. Boom. It's almost like he knows he shouldn't be looking there. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think we're coming back. Maybe saw a little motion here. Please look at your phone messages. Lisa, I will look at my phone messages. Sorry, I was ignoring everything. Do you know if the defendant attorney is a public defender? I don't believe he is. I don't believe he's a public defender, Mike. Let's see, what other message am I supposed to check? Lisa, I'm not seeing your message here. Oh, here's Lisa. Lisa, let me reach out. Hang on one second. Let me reach out to a mod so we can get something fixed. Hold, please, for just a minute. Okay. Defense attorney is the defendant's second attorney. I realize, if he can afford a $2 million bond, which he pays 10% of, right? So it's $200,000 put up. I'm sure he's getting a public defender. Okay, it looks like we got some action in court. Not sure if we will know what the outcome of that little meeting was. But here we go.
I'm going to ask you to come into witness box. The clerk is going to put you on oath at this time for purposes of the canvas. So while you were out, while you were out, we did discuss a canvas that's going to be done outside the presence of the jury. So I put the witness under oath at this point in time for purposes of the canvas, and then we will put the witness under oath in the presence of the jury for purposes of the jury's determination of credibility in this case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury? If so, please say it. Thank you. Please state your full name, spelling your last name, and address for the record, sir.
Jack Snyder, last name Lock.
Sorry, I don't know his address, but Jack Snyder. This is for a canvas. This is a voir dire.
All right, so at this time, I am going to ask the prosecution to please provide on the record an outline of the agreement that this witness has made with the state.
If I may approach the witnesses briefly.
Has this been marked as identification? Okay.
Jack, I'm showing you what's marked as Exhibit 94 for identification. Are you familiar with Case 94?
I am.
And just briefly, Jack, I want to ask you questions about your understanding of this agreement with the state of Connecticut. Is it your understanding that in consideration for your testimony today and the cooperation during the investigative phase of this case, as well as any testimony today or any investigative grand jury or any other hearing, that the state of Connecticut agrees not to prosecute you for the incidences or any crime or crimes that occurred on May 14th of 2022? And is it also your understanding that you have to be truthful in your testimony, and if you are not truthful, that you could be prosecuted for any said crimes that occurred on that day? Is it also your understanding, based on this agreement, that if you commit any further crimes during the pendency of this case, pursuant to this agreement, that you could also be prosecuted for the crimes that may have occurred on May 14th of 2022? It is your understanding that the agreement extends until the final conclusion of this case, whether that be by plea, trial by jury, or a retrial on direct appeal. Is that your understanding? And if you break this agreement in any way, that any statements that you gave before, during your testimony, either today or at any other proceeding, could be used against you at a subsequent trial? Oh, that's right. And with regards to the 4 individuals that were assaulted on May 14th of 2022, is it your understanding that you could have been exposed as a co-conspirator to an excess of 60 years in prison?
Whoa. He has incentive to testify.
Attorney Smith, do you agree that the canvas and the outline adequately and clearly set forth the terms of the agreement that's been marked as an exhibit for identification purposes, and that would be an everything?
For the most part, Your Honor, I would just ask that a question be asked as far as he's been questioned about being truthful and who it is that determines the truthfulness. May I inquire?
You can, yes.
As far as your expectation, your understanding is that in consideration for your testimony, you won't be prosecuted, correct?
Right.
And is your understanding that you'll be afforded full immunity from any crimes that could possibly be charged, correct?
From May 14, 2022, correct.
Okay. And that you have to testify truthfully, right?
Correct.
And what is your understanding about who is going to determine whether or not you testify truthfully?
Just about what I experienced on May 14, 2022.
I understand, sir. Who is it that determines whether or not you testify truthfully?
I guess myself.
Well, the agreement's between you and the state, correct?
Correct.
Between you and the prosecutor, correct?
Correct.
And you would agree that the prosecutor is the person who can determine whether or not to charge you under this, correct? Would you agree then that it's the prosecutor who determines whether or not you testify truthfully?
I guess so.
That's your understanding, right? It's not whether I think you testify truthfully or whether anybody else thinks you testify truthfully, right? You didn't make this between me and you. Okay. So that's your understanding, is that you have to testify truthfully, the prosecutor makes that determination, and if so, you're going to have full immunity. Is that fair to say?
This was my truth. This is what I experienced on May 14th. And what I'm going to say is what happened.
Okay. You understand that this agreement is between you and the state's attorney, right? And that your end of the bargain is that you have to testify truthfully, right?
Truthfully, yeah.
And that the prosecutor determines whether or not he thinks you broke this agreement by testifying truthfully or not truthfully, right?
Yes.
So it's the prosecutor who determines whether or not you've testified truthfully. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
That's what you understand. Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Any follow-up?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. All right. So at this point in time, I am going to just make a little more inquiry of Attorney Smith. Attorney Smith, once again, is there any vagueness about this agreement that you have any concerns of at this point in time?
Not at this point in time, Your Honor, with the understanding that I'm able to cross-examine him about it when he's on cross-exam.
I would certainly both parties are entitled to.
If I may approach the witness, Your Honor, there is the ID that.
All right. So in keeping with formality and format, just
Her
with
audio is
respect
terrible.
to the jury and what the jury has seen, I am going to ask the witness to leave the witness box. I'll ask the witness to be formally called for purposes of providing testimony, and we will put the witness under this is for the purposes of a canvas. So now I'm just going to ask that you exit the courtroom, and then you'll be escorted back in.
I think her mic is off, and she's gonna be picked up by the podium mic. So they're gonna recall him. The jury was out for that. He clearly has a deal with the state. He could have faced basically the same charges that the defendant is facing as a co-conspirator. So 60 plus years being held over his head.
At this time, I would ask the court to go on.
Now the jury's being called. They're going to call him again, as if we haven't seen him already this morning. But we all know that there's a sweet immunity deal that he has. We are going to get his name one more time as he's called in, and he's going to be sworn in again and give his address again. We're going to skip that part, but I'm going to try to get his name in front of this. Yeah, take two. You can imagine cross-examination is going to go into this a little bit, as much as the judge allows. Jack Snyder, I don't know the spelling. He had the Honda. I think they'll be allowed to mention the deal. The jury should be able to consider this.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Counsel, please stipulate to the presence of our jury last month.
The state will stipulate, Your Honor.
Defense stipulates, Your Honor.
All right. So before we continue with the evidence in this case, I just would like to address you, members of the jury. So
mic is off.
You will notice that one of your fellow jurors is no longer with us.
He's gone.
It's important that you not surmise or speculate as to why that juror is no longer seated on the jury panel. Okay, so I'm just going to direct you with respect to that. Please don't ask questions of fellow jurors or attempt to guess or speculate as to why that juror no longer sits on the case. Thank you so much. As such, it is easier to view the following jurors who are seated in the last two chairs of the jury box. Feel free to move over to your left. Thank you. All right. So with that, then,
One was excused.
Again, it appears that we now have all of our jury members. That includes 3 alternates as opposed to 4 alternates. So, counsel, would you agree that we have the panel that we're moving forward with here today?
State will agree.
Defense would agree, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much for that. So I would ask the state to please call its next witness.
The state would call Jack Snyder to the stand.
Okay, so Jack Snyder's coming again, the same person we just heard. Her mic is on because she just hit it. It just sounds terrible, like somebody poured Diet Coke over it or something. It's the mic needs replacing. She hit it with her papers and it was loud. Here's Mr. Snyder.
Take a step into the witness box and remain standing. The clerk is
Please raise your right hand, sir. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God, or upon penalty of perjury. If so, please say I do. Thank you. Please state your full name, spelling your last name, and address for the record, sir.
Jack Snyder, SNYDER.
Then he gives his address, 123 Sesame Street.
Good morning, Jack. Good morning. Can you please tell the ladies and gentlemen jury how old you are?
You're supposed to say hi, Jack.
19 years old.
Do you go to school?
I do.
Where do you go to school?
University of Tampa.
And what are you studying?
Finance.
And do you know why you're here today?
I do.
And why are you here today?
Testify.
In relation to what?
The events that occur on May 14th, 2022.
And have we met before in connection to this case?
Yes.
And can you tell me a little bit about the circumstances surrounding how we initially met?
So I hired my attorney, and he went to the state of Connecticut, and they formed an agreement that I would provide full detail and truth about what happened on that day.
In consideration for your, what's your understanding with that agreement?
That I would not be prosecuted.
And is there any consequences if, based on what you tell us today?
If I were to lie about what happened or commit any more criminal charges, that I would be prosecuted or liable for prosecution.
May I approach the witness? Showing you the marked States Exhibit 94 for identification.
So the jury knows he has a deal.
States 94.
I do.
What is States 94?
Our agreement.
And is this the agreement that you executed in the presence of your lawyer and your father on November 2nd?
I've got to make it louder, guys.
Does this agreement encompass
Cover your ears.
between you and the state of Connecticut concerning your testimony concerning the events of May 14th, 2020? I would offer this as full exhibit.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, the court will accept into evidence as the full exhibit states 94.
Now, Jack, I want to ask you, are you familiar with an individual by the name of Tyler De Silva?
I am.
How are you familiar with him? And how did you become friends?
St. Joseph Football.
And back on May 14th of 2022, how old were you?
16 years old.
And where were you in school?
I was a junior.
Where?
At St. Joseph High School.
And did you go to school with Tyler De Silva?
I did.
And what sports were you playing then?
Football.
Are you familiar with an individual by the name of Raul Valle?
I am.
Does he have a nickname?
Yeah.
And how are you familiar with him?
He was also a friend of mine.
And did he go to school with you at St. Joseph's High School?
Yeah.
Is he present in the courtroom today?
Yes.
What is he wearing?
A black suit.
And can you please point him out for the record? Your Honor, may the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant in this case.
Court will allow the record to reflect that the witness has identified Mr. Valle. Thank you.
Now I want to bring it back to the events of May 14th of 2022. There was a party at Lazy Brook that night. Prior to the party at Lazy Brook, tell us what you were doing.
I was driving to go pick up Leo.
And what were you driving?
I'm a pilot.
And you said you were going, is this State's Exhibit 30?
I'm doing what I can with the audio, guys.
Is that a picture? What's that a picture of?
I'm the pilot.
Is that the car you were driving on May 14th of 2022? And you say you were going to pick up the defendant? Where were you going to pick him up?
His house.
Where's his house? And what time of day would you say you were going to pick him up?
Late at night, probably around 9 p.m., 10 p.m.
It was dark already?
Yes.
And when you got to his house, where did you go after that?
I was going to go to Tyler Silva.
And where does Tyler live?
In Milford, Connecticut as well.
When you picked Tyler up, was there any alcohol in the car?
At that time it wasn't until he got in the car.
Wasn't until who got in the car? So Tyler brought alcohol in the car? What kind of things did he bring in the car?
I believe 2 bottles of vodka.
And when you left Tyler's house, where did you go?
I think we went straight to the party.
The party at Lazy Brook? Do you know whether or not you were invited to that party, you and your friends?
No.
And when you got there, around what time of night would you say you got there?
10 p.m., maybe a little bit later.
And when you got there, how many people would you say were at the party?
Probably 40 people, maybe.
And what kinds of things were going on at this party?
Just drinking and alcohol and stuff like that.
So when you say drinking alcohol? Yeah. Was alcohol being provided at the house, or was it bring your own alcohol?
Bring your own alcohol.
And when you got to the party, were you drinking?
I was.
Were you drinking prior to getting to the party?
I was.
And when you got to the party, how long were you withdrawn? Did there come a point in time where you were under the impression that you guys had to leave?
We were.
And when you were being told to leave, did you encounter two individuals that you were not familiar with at that party?
I was.
And can you tell us a little bit about how that happened?
So we were under the impression that we'd be able to stay at the party if we removed people who were also uninvited. So when these two individuals came, I didn't know who they were, and we were told to ask them to leave. So we went up to them and we just told them that they weren't welcome there, that they needed to leave.
When you were at the party at Laserbrook, between the time you got there and the time those people came, how long a period of time was that?
Maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
And when you got there, do you recall what you were wearing that night?
I believe a red sweatshirt.
Do you recall what the defendant was wearing that night?
I believe a jersey.
Show your State's Exhibit 53. Can you identify the people in State's 53?
I can.
And who's the person on the left in the red sweatshirt?
That's me.
Who's the person on the right?
That's Lito.
And is this what he was wearing on May 14th of 2022?
It is.
I noticed he's wearing a helmet and a neck pillow. Did he come to Laserbrook like that?
He did not.
Can you tell us the circumstances surrounding how that he came to be wearing those items?
I think he just found them maybe in the mudroom or in the garage or something.
And just put them on? Did he put them on almost immediately when he got there?
I wouldn't say so. Maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes after we got there.
So shortly before the two individuals that were also not invited, at least that you're aware of, arrived at the house?
That's correct.
So when you encountered these individuals, tell us about what happened during your interaction. Well, let me withdraw. Did you have an interaction with these two individuals when they came? Tell us about that.
So one of them was holding a case of beer, and we said that he'd be able to stay if we took his beer or he gave us his beer, and he didn't want to give us his beer. So the conversation started to get a little bit more aggressive, and we moved from the garage to the driveway, and that's when I took his beer from him.
Okay, you took his beer from him? Yeah. And when you took his beer from him, did the, not what was said, but was there another more interaction between you and the individual you took the beer from? And what was that like?
I think he squared up with me initially, and then I squared up with him.
So you were going to fight for the beer? Is that good, right? And do you recall how the fight started?
I do.
And how did the fight start?
After we squared up with each other, Lito came around and hit him in the back of the head, and then he lunged forward at me.
And how long did the fight last for?
30 seconds.
And you recall when he lunged at you, did you recall what happened after he lunged at you?
I fell to the floor.
And when you fell to the floor, do you recall if anybody else jumped in on the fight at that point in time?
I think Tyler and Lito were helping me out while I was on the floor.
Okay. And how long did the fight last for?
30 seconds.
Every fight's 30 seconds to a minute.
Jack, have you seen a video of this fight before? So Jack, is there a pointer up there? Can I? You have your monitor in front of you. I'm going to ask you if you can identify this person in the red. Do you know who that is?
That's me.
The person in the green that it appears that you are fighting, who's that?
That's the Shelton person that I was fighting.
Is that the kid you took the beer from?
Yes.
The kid here with the dark pants, the light blue shirt, do you know who that is? You can rewind it if you can't. Can you rewind it a little bit?
I believe that's Lito.
That's Lito behind the kid from Shelton.
It is.
Can you go a little forward now, please? So we can see. Keep going. This person right here with what appears to be a light blue jersey and jeans, who's that?
That's Tyler.
Do you recall the fight happening that way?
Yeah.
Now, the fight lasted about 30 seconds. You said after the fight broke up, can you tell us what happened after that?
We all got up, and I think Sheldon kids went down the driveway, and I caught a ride, and everyone from the party started dispersing outside, and the mother of the house kind of shut the party down at that point.
And when the mother shut the party down, where did you, what, if anything, were you guys planning to do at that point?
At that point, just go home. Find somewhere else to go maybe until we got added to a group chat.
You were added to a group chat? Do you know who added you?
I don't know who added me.
What was the name of the group chat, do you recall?
Something along the lines of the basketball team.
And when you got added to this group chat, did you know why you got added to the group chat?
After looking at the text, I did.
And why do you believe you were added to the group chat?
Because kids who were at that party were upset at what happened and wanted to meet somewhere to fight us.
So did you engage anybody in that group chat?
I might have sent a couple texts back.
Such as what?
Along the lines of that we were going to fight them, or they wanted to fight us, so I was going to come, or something along the lines of that.
So you were willing to go meet them to fight? And at some point in time after the fight, did you get in your car?
Yeah.
And how long between the time the fight ended and the time you got in your car getting ready to leave? How long was that?
Maybe 5 minutes.
And did anybody else get in the car with you?
Yeah.
Who else got in the car with you?
It was Dimitri, Keenan, Will, Tyler, Lito, Mackenzie, and myself.
So you said Dimitri and Keenan. Who's Dimitri and Keenan?
Friends of ours.
Did you go to school with them?
Yeah.
And that would be Dimitrios Arfanis and Keenan Frasick. And you said Will. Who's Will?
Will Singlewald.
And did you go to school with him at St. Joe's? And you said Mackenzie. Who's Mackenzie?
Mackenzie Traficante.
And did you go to school with her at St. Joe's? And what was the significance of Mackenzie Traficante at that moment in time?
She was dating Lito.
So it was 7 of you in the car?
It was.
Who drove the car?
Me.
Do you recall who was in the front seat when you left?
Tyler.
And do you recall who was in your back seat?
Everyone else.
You don't recall where everybody was sitting at any particular time? When you left Lazy Brook, where did you guys head to?
So in the group chat, I think they were initially planning on meeting us at Trumbull High School. That was what I was under the impression of. So we went to Trumbull High and expected to see a couple of people there.
And when you got to Trumbull High School, what did you guys do when you got there?
We pulled in the parking lot and there was a black BMW. Who apparently was one of, I believe, Keenan's friends or someone in the car knew them. 2 kids, but they weren't who we were looking for. So we kind of just stayed in the parking lot for about 10 minutes or so.
And when you were in the parking lot for 10 minutes, did you all get out of the car?
I don't believe so.
No one got out of the car maybe to go relieve themselves or walk someplace else, go talk to those kids in the BMW?
We were conversing through the windows on our cars.
And what kinds of things were you conversing about?
I think we were asking them to come along with us to go fight.
Okay, so that you made them aware of a potential fight that was going to happen? And were you having a conversation with the defendant when you were at Trumbull High School about what had occurred at Lazy Brook or this potential fight?
I think it was in conversation.
And what kinds of things were you guys talking about?
So we were going to go meet these kids and fight them.
And fight them? The intent was to fight them?
Yeah.
Now, you said you were there for about 10 minutes. After about 10 minutes, did you become aware that it was time to leave Trumbull High School? How did you become aware of that?
In the group chat, somebody sent us an address and told us to go over to that house, and that's where they'd be.
And did you, in fact, drive over to that house? You in the front seat driving? And who was in the front passenger seat?
Tyler, sure.
And when you got over there, do you recall what the house looked like when you got there?
I just knew there was a driveway on the right and a front lawn. Couple of houses.
State's Exhibit 49. Does State's Exhibit 49 look familiar to you?
It does.
Is that the house that you went to?
It is.
14th of 2022?
Yes.
And do you recall, you're from Norwalk? Do you recall your path of travel when you got to that house that night?
Yeah, it was from Adams.
It was from Adams?
The defense lawyer will make him speak up.
Show you State's Exhibit 1. Now, when you say that it was from Adams, you're talking about this road here to the right, State's Exhibit 1. So you came in that way? And when you came in that way, what did you do? Did you drive by the house?
We parked there at the end of the street.
And when you say you parked at the end of the street, can you tell from State's Exhibit 49 where exactly you parked?
Yeah, right on the right to the end.
So right, if I put my finger, let me know if I'm in the right area, right around here?
Right there, yeah.
Okay, so if the record can reflect in State's 49, I'm at the bottom portion of the picture, just to the left of the trees that are on the property across the street from 43 Laurel Glen, near the intersection of Adams and Laurel Glen.
I'll allow the record to reflect that. Thank you.
And when you got there, did you see anybody outside of the property at that point in time? And when you got there, did you or anybody from your group indicate to anybody in the group chat that you guys were at the house?
We did.
And when that happened, what occurred when that happened?
People started flowing out probably from the backyard of the house. We saw them coming in the driveway. And we just head after head.
And when you say coming back from the back of the house, do you know exactly what portion of the house they came from?
Yeah. But
they came down the driveway?
They did.
And when they came down the driveway, did they approach your car?
They did.
And when they approached your car, what was the lighting like out that night?
It was dark.
It was dark, but could you see in front of you?
I couldn't tell faces, but I could see the outlines of people.
Could you see, was there light from the house that was shining? Your headlights were on at some point, providing some light. When the individuals, did they approach your car? When they approached your car, how close did they get to your car?
They couldn't touch my car.
And were you familiar with anybody that approached your car at that moment in time? And did you have a conversation? Did you or anybody in the car have a conversation with anybody that approached your car that night?
We did.
What was the conversation initially like?
Very aggressive. You didn't expect to see so many people there, so we were kind of already kind of on our backs, and they surrounded the car. The windows were cracked, so we could talk to them through the car, and they were screaming, cursing, throwing stuff at the car, kicking the car, stuff like that. So
what were they doing? Spitting at the car? Touching the car? Were you guys saying anything back to them?
I don't remember the conversation, but we were both going back and forth, kind of.
So were you arguing with them also?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And how long would you say that occurred for?
30, 40 seconds.
At some point in time after 30, 40 seconds, what did you do?
I kind of iced my car a little bit to clear the way, and then I drove off.
And when you drove off, where did you drive to?
I drove down the street about 5 houses down and stopped the car.
And when you stopped the car, what happened?
I let people out of the car.
Do you recall who got out of the car?
I believe people in the back who wanted to get a ride home.
And why? Do you know why they wanted a ride home?
Because they didn't want to be involved in what just occurred back at the house.
And at some point in time down the road, and when you say down the road, are you talking, if you're looking at States 1, are you driving down towards Farmhouse Lane?
Yeah.
Okay, and do you recall where on Laurel Glen, or where on the road, I should say, did you stop the car?
Probably about 5 houses down.
Was it close to the intersection of Farmhouse and Laurel Glen?
Maybe that house right across from the farmhouse.
And when you got out, when you stopped the car, did at some point in time you have an interaction with anybody else that was not related to your car?
I believe we did.
And then can you tell us a little bit about that?
I think there was a couple kids running down the street.
And when they ran down the street, do you know what they did?
I think they were talking to people who exited my car.
Do you know who they were talking to?
I don't recall.
Were you still in the car at this point? And do you recall what, if anything, was anything thrown from your car or towards your car at that point?
I don't remember anything all the time. It was my car.
When you were down the street and there were individuals out of your car, did you see anybody engage in any physical altercation down the road?
Yeah.
Did you see anybody from that other group with any weapons on them at that point in time? At some point in time, did you drive the car down the road and turn back?
I did.
And when you did that, what did you do? Did you get in the car? Did you get out of the car? What did you do?
I think we went out to check the damage on the car.
When you said we, who's we?
I think they were already down the street. I drove off and then I came back around and then I got out of the car and we were all kind of outside the car.
So were you the only person in the car that drove down and came back?
I think so.
And when you came back, Mackenzie was out of the car already?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yes.
The defendant?
Yes.
Will?
Yes.
Keenan?
Yep.
Demetrius?
Yes.
And when you got back, you stopped the car? And when you got out of the car, what did you do when you were looking at your car?
Just observing.
What did you observe?
Dents and nicks on the car and something on the windshield.
Showing your States 31. Is this something that you saw on the night of May 14th, 2022?
Yes.
By the way, what time would you say you got to 43 Laurel Glen on May 14th, 2022? You recall?
Maybe 11:30.
So this defect in the windshield here, was that there prior to getting to Laurel Glen?
It was not.
So that happened when you got to Laurel Glen?
Good.
And when you were inspecting your car, tell us how you felt about what had just occurred to your car.
I was kind of distraught and upset that my car was damaged and destroyed.
Was anybody else distraught and upset?
Yep.
Can you please explain how he was upset with regards to your car?
He initially saw the damage before I did. That was the last he had in my car. He was just going around and, look what they did to your car, it's all destroyed, stuff on those lines.
What was he saying? Anything else with regards to, look, he just said, look what they did to your car. He didn't say anything else.
He was just distraught about what happened to my car.
Was he more upset than you?
Maybe visibly. I was quite upset.
Was he aggressive?
I'll answer that question in a minute.
And
I'm gonna pause.
When he was acting in this way, what, if anything, happened during this inspection of your car?
He came back around and asked for the knife.
And when you say the knife, what do you mean?
I carried a pocket knife in the bottom of my center console, and it's always been there from when I got the car initially.
Why was it there?
Just fishing. And any really reason I would need a knife, it was there, to cut anything. Whatever, just at the bottom of my center console. A bunch of random items were along with it, but I knew it was there. And when they initially surrounded my car, I had taken it out and put it on my waist.
So you're talking about down in front of 43 Laurel Glen when your car started to get...
When they were rocking the car.
You took the knife out and put it on your waist?
Put it on my waist.
And when you put it on your waist, did you open it up?
No.
Did you show it to anybody? And when you did that, why did you do that?
Just because I didn't expect so many people there, and after seeing what they were doing in my car and how they were talking, I just felt like it was, and In regard to my own safety, I just took it out and put it down just in case anything were to happen.
Now, after you left that initial interaction where you say you took the knife out and you put it on your lap and you went down the street, could you have just left the area and not gone back?
Yeah.
But you didn't do that, right? And you say that the defendant asked you for the knife. Tell me what kinds of things was he saying?
He just said, "Where's the knife? Where are the knives?" Along those lines.
Did he say it in an aggressive manner?
Not really. He just kind of asked for it.
A leading question suggests the answer, by the way. It suggests the answer. Often it could be a yes or no.
Mark the State's Exhibit 95 for identification purposes. You recognize State's 95.
Okay.
And what is State's 95?
A copy of the.
Is this a picture of the knife that you sent me that is a duplicate of what the knife looked like on May 14th, 2022?
There is.
Is this a fair and accurate depiction of what the knife looked like that you possess that information?
It is.
All right, but all this is for the
No objection. All right, we're to accept in evidence States 95 full exhibit. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a picture of what the knife looked like. This is the defendant saying, I found a picture of it online, and here it is. So this will give us an
Showing
idea.
you States 95,
Like a
it's
buck
not
knife
marked
or
as a
what?
full exhibit. Is this the knife that you had on in your vehicle on May 14th of 2022?
That's a nice one.
Is this the knife that you, that the defendant was looking for on May 14th of 2022?
Yes.
You indicated that you had this in your center console. Let's show you States 32. Picture of the inside of your car. And when you say your center console, are you indicating that this area here, or are you indicating the glove box?
No, the center console.
So I'm pointing to the left of States 32, the center console area of the car.
Yep.
And you had taken it out of this area and put it on your lap, and you initially got the 43 Laurel Glen. And when the defendant asked for the knife on May 14th of 22,
Tell us about what happened. Did you give it to him? What happened? You gave him the knife? And when you gave him the knife, why did you do that?
I wasn't really thinking. I just gave it to him and asked what I gave it to him.
Now, is there any conversation between you or anybody else just slightly before or after you give the defendant the knife?
Yeah, before.
And what are you guys talking about?
Tyler, maybe Lito, I think they knew people at the party. I didn't, but they wanted to go back because maybe they recognized a couple kids, and they were going to go try and talk to them, calm it down, maybe just make peace with them. That's the whole plan.
And did you in fact get in your car?
Did.
Who got in your car?
I got in the driver's seat, and Lito got in the passenger and Tyler in the back.
And did anybody else get in the car at that point in time?
No.
And when you got in the car, where did you go?
We drove up towards the lawn.
when you say you drove up to the front lawn, States 49, can you show us in States 49 where you drove up?
Right to the right of the red bush.
This bush?
That bush, yeah.
You stopped here? And when you stopped there, what happened when you stopped there?
Tyler and Lito got out.
And where did they go?
They started walking towards the crowd of people that was on the lawn.
And when they did that, what did you do?
I had my window down and I was kind of watching them, just making sure they were okay.
$17
Did you stay in that area?
I stayed right parallel to them the whole time.
Did you move the car up a little bit?
I crept up as they walked up.
And when you walked up, were you able to observe
The interaction between Tyler and the defendant and the group from 43 Laurel Glen?
It was dark out, and I could see what was going on.
Now, prior to getting there, were you ever under the impression that were you told to leave and get out of here? Do you recall that?
I can't recall that.
Okay. Now, when you when Tyler and the defendant get out of the car and they're on the property here,
were on the property. What kinds of things, was there any verbal interaction between the defendant and Tyler and the people from 43 Laurel Glen?
Yeah, they were conversing, but it didn't sound aggressive at first.
Show you states 4. Do you recall where your car was in states 4 when you noticed that they were conversing?
A little bit in between the bushes, maybe.
Would it be over here somewhere?
Yeah, middle of the street.
Middle of the street? Were there cars parked on the side of the street?
Yeah.
So you couldn't be near the curb, per se?
I was kind of in the middle of the street just watching.
Okay. And you were in the driver's seat, car was on, you were looking over your shoulder?
Yeah.
Through the window? Window was up?
It was down. It was down.
It was down? And you said that you heard talking back and forth?
Yeah.
It was normal at first? And how long would you say it was normal for?
10, 20 seconds.
And then at some point in time, did it escalate?
It did.
And can you tell us about that?
Someone came out from the crowd and punched Lito in the face.
And when that happened, what did you observe?
Just all out chaos at that point.
Did you observe where the defendant was after he got punched? Did you observe where Tyler was after that happened? At some point in time, do you stay in that area right as the fight's going on? And at some point during the fight, does anybody come back to your car?
Yeah, sure.
And when he comes back to your car, does he get in the car?
No, I think he opened the door.
Okay.
He came up to the door.
And after he opened the door, what, if anything, did you observe him do next?
He just went back.
And when he went back, at some point in time, how long did he, from the time he left your car to go back, did he come back to the car at some point?
He came back, went back, and then came back. But yes.
How long did that take, do you think?
10, 15 seconds.
Did you see where he went when he left your car the first time, or the second time, I should say? You didn't see him if he went back into the fight? You just...
I think he went back into the fight. That's where at that.
And did you see him engage anybody in the fight at that point? At some point in time, does the fight end? Or does...
I think Lito got back in the car.
First?
He got back in first.
And where did he get in the car?
He got in the passenger seat.
The front passenger seat? Okay. And at some point in time, did Tyler come back to the car?
He came in after Lito. Lito got in the passenger seat and first, and he was like all distraught and said something along the lines of like, I think I just stabbed like 4 people or something like that, holding the knife.
He said he stabbed 4 people. He was holding the knife. And how soon after he said that did Tyler De Silva get in the car?
Maybe 10 seconds after. I kind of crept up a little bit more.
So you started to move and then Tyler jumped in? Where did he jump in?
Passenger seat.
Was it on the passenger side or the driver's side?
Passenger side.
And when he got in the car, what did you do next?
I took off down the street towards Adams.
Okay. So if we're looking at states 1, you took off towards Adams when you got to Adams. So this way, just for the record, and motioning from the left of the exhibit to the right towards Adams, right? And when you got to Adams, where did you go?
We to the left. Oh.
So you went down here?
You did.
And you hit the cul-de-sac?
You did.
What happened when you hit the cul-de-sac?
So as I was making going around the cul-de-sac, Lito told me to stop the car.
He told you to stop the car?
Yeah.
Do you recall where you stopped the car? You want to point it out?
Right there.
And so, did you park on the side of the cul-de-sac there?
Yeah.
And when you stopped the car, what, if anything, happened when you stopped the car?
Lito got out of the front passenger and threw the knife.
You saw him throw the knife?
I did.
Where did he throw the knife?
Directly into the woods area that was right there.
Show you State's Exhibit 45.
And they couldn't find it.
Cul-de-sac, Adams Road, you pull that?
Yeah, I do.
And does this look like, State's 46, does this look like the wooded area where the knife was tossed?
Yes.
And after he threw the knife in the woods, what happened after that? Did he get back in the car?
He did.
And when he got back in the car, what, if anything, did he say?
I don't recall him saying anything when he got back.
So you got back in the car, and what did you do?
Took off and took it right back on the street, which is where I believe people were getting their rides.
So you drove back down Laurel Glen? So you came back on stage one, you came back down this way? You took a right on Laurel Glen, so you go past the house again?
Yep.
And you met people down here? People that were originally in your car?
Yep.
And when you got down to that end of the street, what, if anything, happened when you got there?
Dropped the wheel off. I think that's where he was getting picked up.
Do you know who he was getting picked up by?
I think Mackenzie's sister was coming to pick her and pick them up.
And when he, so he got out of the car at that point? And when he got out of the car, what happened when he got out of the car?
Tyler got in the front passenger. Then he took off towards Tyler's house.
And when you took off, did you know how to get home from where you were?
I used to Google Maps to get to Tyler's.
And you drove down to Tyler's house? And when you got to Tyler's house, did you have, what happened when you got to Tyler's house?
We met Owen DeSilva, Tyler's cousin. He was outside.
And were you talking with Owen DeSilva? Did you tell him what happened? Did you and Tyler DeSilva, not what you guys said, but did you have a conversation with Tyler on the way from Laurel Glen to Milford when you talked to Owen DeSilva?
Good.
And what kinds of things were you saying to Tyler DeSilva?
I kind of told him that Lito said something like, "Oh my God, I think I stabbed people" or something. We're talking about his injuries because Tyler was all bloodied up and in bad condition.
How did Lito appear? Did you get a good look at Lito?
He was also pretty bloodied up. They were both kind of beat up.
Yeah. And did you say anything else when you were talking? When you were going to Milford?
The conversation was kind of along the lines of like, how are we going to get back at these people? Because like, at the time we had no idea the severity of the situation. Like when Lito said like I stabbed people, I'm thinking like he's on the ground and maybe hit someone in the leg or something and got out of it and got back in my car. So it was kind of like the tension was kind of still there. And in the group chat, kids were still texting in the group chat. So it was kind of just still kind of aggressive between the groups. So we were just kind of talking about like how we're going to get back at these guys.
And you didn't understand the severity of it?
It's always jumped or something and we were going home.
And did you text anything in the group chat after the incident at 43 Laurel Glen?
I did.
What did you text?
I guess said something along the lines of like, enjoy the hospital visit or something.
And at some point in time, you talked to Owen DeSilva. Do you stay in Milford that night or do you leave?
I go home.
You go to home and home back to Norwalk?
Yeah.
And when you go back to Norwalk, when you get home, do you have any conversation with anybody when you get home?
Yeah, my father.
And did you tell your father what had happened?
I did.
And not what he said to you, but what was his appearance to you when you told him what had happened?
He kind of looked shocked and kind of gave me the impression that this was going to be something more serious than I kind of thought it was.
At some point in time, did you have another conversation with another family member?
I did.
Who did you have a conversation with?
My cousin.
And who's your cousin?
Mike Mario.
And you talked about what had happened at 43 Laurel Glen?
His cousin's his
And
lawyer.
at some point in time, were you contacted by the Shelton Police Department in any way? Was it how close in time was it from the time of the incident to the time Shelton Police Department contacted you?
It was that morning.
And did you talk to the police at that point in time?
My father picked the phone up and just told him that we were hiring an attorney.
So you hired a lawyer at that point? And again, that was May 15th of 2022? And at some point in time, do you recall in consulting with your lawyer and your father or your parents, do you recall wanting to meet with the state's attorney's office with regards, or the state Shelton Police Department and the state's attorney's office with regards to this incident?
Yep.
And is that when your lawyer approached the state's attorney's office to give us potential information about this case? In particular, where the knife was discarded?
That's what he got the deal for. He has the information about the knife, where it was, where it came from.
It is the first time that you spoke to law enforcement regarding this case. Was that on November 2nd of 2022?
I believe so.
And did you give a subsequent interview with law enforcement to clarify anything that may have been misunderstood?
This witness is 19 years old, I believe.
Give me a moment, Your Honor.
Hopefully on cross, they're going to make him sit up, aim to talk right into the mic.
Thank you.
This can be spicy. This could be really. Under the law, they both could be facing the same punishment.
Good morning, Mr. Snyder. You and I have never met before. Never talked about this case before. Well, so let's talk a little bit about it now.
Got a quick text.
You told us that the evening began with you picking up Mr. Valle and Mr. De Silva in your Honda Pilot that evening sometime, correct?
Yes.
And then you took everybody over to 5 Lazy Brook Road, correct?
Yes.
And that's where you had been invited over to the Lifer's house, right?
No.
No.
We weren't invited. I think we just got word that there was a party there.
Okay. Who'd you get that word from?
I can't remember who told us to go, but we just eventually went.
Okay. You got there and you were there for 1 or 2 hours?
That sounds right.
Did you see the Lifers when you were there?
We did.
You knew Madigan from school?
I did.
And you knew Austin from school? Did you see Austin that evening?
I think briefly I did, yeah.
You said there were maybe 40 people there when you got there?
I believe so.
You'd been drinking at the party and beforehand?
Yes.
But you didn't bring the alcohol. That was Tyler De Silva who brought the alcohol.
Yes.
And then 2 individuals that you didn't know arrived and you told them that they had to leave, right? Did one of those individuals, the one holding the case of beer, did he give you a beer? Did he give Mr. Valle a beer? Did he seem to you like he was trying to make friends with you?
Initially, maybe at the end of the party, yeah.
At the end of the party?
No, to get into the party.
To get into the party. Gotcha. And you told him that he needed to give you that beer?
Yes.
A dispute broke out about whether or not you were going to actually get that beer from him, correct?
Yeah, it was about like him giving us the beer and then in turn he'd be able to stay at the party.
Well, you say giving us the beer. You were the one asking for the beer, right?
Yeah.
You were the one who was talking with this individual, right?
We all were.
Okay. Tyler De Silva was talking to him?
We all were, yeah. Neolito and Tyler.
Okay. And yet the person that squares up, that's you, right?
Yes.
Because you're the person who took the beer from him, right? So would you agree that you were the person that was having the most direct interaction with Mr. Hines?
I would.
And you later come to find out that that person was Ryan Hines?
Yes.
And you said that you moved to the driveway and that's where you squared up and you had the fight, right? And you guys were moving around in that course of that fight? The video that we watched, that doesn't catch the initial stages of that fight, does it?
I believe it does. I don't think the fight started until into that video.
Okay, that catches the very beginning of that fight?
It does.
So you guys had not begun fighting until you got out into the driveway?
Yes.
And people sort of formed a circle around, right? There were some folks watching. And it was just you and Mr. Hines that were going to have this square off.
Yeah.
And you said Mr. Valle came around and hit him in the back of the head, right? And that he lunged at you.
Ryan Hines did, yeah.
Oh, or you lunged at him.
No, Ryan Hines lunged at me.
Sorry. So Ryan lunges at you. You'd already taken a punch at Mr. Hines at that point.
I know.
He tackles you to the ground. He's on top of you.
Yes.
a group descends and tries to break that thing up, right? At some point, you all get up and you go your separate ways.
Yeah.
The kids from Shelton High that had just been involved with the fight, they walk down the driveway and get in the car somewhere? Did you see them do that? And where was your car parked?
To the left. Looking down the driveway, it was off to the left.
Okay, so nearby. And you, how long before you got in your car and left?
5-10 minutes, maybe.
Did you see at any point Mrs. Leifer come out, shut the party down, and give the beer back to Mr. Hines?
I remember her coming out. I don't remember her giving back the beer.
Okay. In any event, you didn't have the beer anymore at that point, correct? He said after that, the plan was to go home, right?
It was.
When you say go home, to your own home?
No, I was going to be sleeping out that night.
Where were you going to be sleeping that night?
Most likely Tyler's.
Tyler De Silva's. And as far as Tyler De Silva, that was a close friend of yours? Do you remain close friends? And would you say you were closer with Mr. De Silva than you were with Mr. Valle?
I would. I think that's fair to say.
Okay. You weren't going to sleep at Mr. Valle's house that night?
It was possible, but I think the plan was to sleep at Tyler's.
Okay.
So we frequently slept out at.
And you said at some point you got added to this basketball group chat, right? Correct?
Yes. Correct.
Sorry, we've got the court reporter here, and you have to say out loud something. She keep going. Okay. You didn't create that group chat. Mr. Valle didn't create that group chat. Mr. De Silva didn't create that group chat. But you got added to it. Okay. When you got added to it, was Mr. Valle also added to it at that same time?
I'm not sure if he was at it, but I knew a couple of us were. I'm not sure exactly who, but we were all kind of talking about it.
Okay. Who else was on that group chat?
There were probably a good 20 people in it, and about probably 3 or 4 of us in it. So it was majority kids that I wasn't aware of. I didn't know.
So when you were looking at that group chat, you couldn't see the names of the folks that you didn't know. You just saw numbers. Is that fair?
Yep.
But you quickly got an understanding of who those unknown numbers were, right? And you understood that that was the kids, at least some of the kids and kids who were related to the kids that you had just gotten into the fight with, right?
Yep.
Because you said that there was, your understanding based on what they were texting was that they wanted you to fight with them, right? And you sent text back indicating you were willing to do that, right? And so you got back in the car with Demetrius, Keenan, Will, Tyler De Silva, Raul, and Mackenzie Trafficante. And did they all know that you were getting in the car to go fight these kids?
Yeah, we made it pretty apparent that people who were going to be in my car were going to go with us to go fight.
So Mackenzie Trafficante knew that you were going in the car to go fight?
Objection as to what she knew.
Sustained.
When you say that people in the car knew that you were going to go fight, what led you to believe that they knew that?
I kind of went up, and after we were in the group chat, I was like, I can't remember if we were already in the car or driving, but I said, if you're in the car or you're getting in my car, we're going to go fight these people. And I think the people in my car are very clear going with us.
Demetrius?
Yep.
Keenan?
Yep.
Will Sinjwal?
Yep.
Tyler De Silva?
Yep.
Raul Valle?
Yep.
Mackenzie Trafficante?
Yep. I believe so, yeah.
You told us you were driving and that Tyler De Silva was the passenger at this point, right?
Yep.
And so you got in the car and you went over to Trumbull High School.
Yep.
And there you said that you were expecting to find the kids who were using this basketball group chat to invite you to fight, right? They weren't there. You said there was a black BMW there?
Black or blue. I think it was a dark colored.
You don't think it was a white BMW?
I don't think so. I don't remember the way.
Okay. It was dark.
I think so, yeah.
As far as the time of day, it was dark that night.
Yes.
And the people in that BMW, those were people that your group knew, right?
I didn't. I believe someone in my car knew them.
Okay. And you said you were there for 10 minutes, nobody got out of the car.
I don't remember that. I didn't get out of the car.
What were you doing in the car?
On my phone, probably.
Music on?
Most likely.
Car running?
Yep.
7 of you in the car talking through the window, you told us, to the other vehicle. Was there another vehicle there with a group of girls in it?
I don't remember that.
I'm going to show you the knife while he's talking here really quickly.
And then you said while you were sitting there on this group chat text,
the knife.
Somebody not from your group sends the address 43 Laurel Glen Drive, right? And it was your understanding that that was now where these kids wanted you to come in order to have a fight. And you drove there because you wanted to have a fight.
Yes.
Did you know these kids?
I didn't.
And you didn't even know where this was, right? You're from Norwalk. And so you get this address there, 43 Laurel Glen Drive. You got 6 other people in the car. You don't even know where it is. You don't even know who these kids are. And you decide you're going to drive everybody over there.
Well, I didn't know it was a party. I'm assuming that that maybe the kid who was just in a scuffle with us, he maybe had a couple friends and wanted to settle it or something. So that's why we drove over to go fight them.
You're responsible when you're driving for the people that are in that vehicle, right?
Yes.
You thought that was a good idea to drive all those folks over there to 43 Laurel Glen Drive?
It was a mutual understanding.
You thought it was a good idea?
I wasn't thinking about the potential consequences.
You were 16 years old, right?
I was.
And you didn't think when you got there that there were going to be 30 or 40 people, did you?
Absolutely not.
And you didn't know where it was. You had to GPS it, right?
Yes.
And it was a kind of confusing layout when you got there because there's through roads and cul-de-sacs, right? You didn't know which one was leading to which end, right? Could have been a dead end, could have been a through street, but you didn't know. And you say you didn't drive by the house when you first got there. You went straight there and you parked the car to the right, right?
Yeah, straight there.
When you got there were people already out in the yard?
No.
Nobody was out in the yard. Okay. And you indicated to the folks in the group chat, we're here.
Yep.
And then people started coming out of the house, right?
Yes.
One person came out of the house, right?
Yes.
Quickly followed by a second person, right?
Yes.
Then a third person, right?
Yes.
Then a fourth person, right?
Yes.
A fifth, a sixth, a seventh, an eighth, right?
Yes.
At that point, you're outnumbered now, right?
Yes.
A ninth, a 10th, an 11th, a 12th, right?
Yes.
Now what are you starting to think in that car?
We're not going to be fighting anymore.
You're not going to be fighting anymore? Why not?
It didn't seem sensible at the time. It wasn't what we expected to see when we initially arrived. We were going to arrive.
You weren't in control of that situation at that point, were you?
No.
Drove all those folks over there, parked them. Wasn't what you expected, was it? It was getting scary, wasn't it?
It was.
It was getting terrifying, wasn't it?
It was.
You worried about what was going to happen now, I bet.
It was.
How many people do you think ultimately came out of that car, out of that house?
Maybe 30, maybe a little bit more.
All came over to your car.
Yes.
7 of you in there and 30 on the outside, right?
Yes.
Surrounding the vehicle, right?
Yes.
And at first they came up to the driver's side, some of them, didn't they?
Yeah.
And you had your window down?
I had it cracked, I believe.
Cracked. Didn't want to put it the whole way down at that point, right? And people started coming up and started talking to you through the window, right?
Yes.
And you say at first that was peaceful.
I don't think it was peaceful at first when they all kind of walked up. Everyone was kind of screaming. I think I heard something along the lines of like, "Where's the kid who did this to me?" It was someone from the party before.
That was Ryan Hines, right?
It could have been. I didn't see his face.
Spit at you?
Yes.
Did it make it into the car or just on the car?
I don't think it hit me, but I think it made it into the car.
There's people in front of the car?
There's
people on both sides of the car?
That's true.
There's people behind the car?
True.
Some of those people get on the car?
That's possible. I don't remember anybody getting on top of the car.
Do you remember the car rocking?
Okay.
Do you recall if somebody was on the back bumper jumping up and down?
That's possible. I wasn't.
No, thank you.
I wasn't really looking at the back of my car. I was kind of focused on what was going on in my area.
Future in ventriloquism.
Why didn't you just drive away?
I did eventually, but I didn't want to run anybody over, so I kind of started itching my car out a little bit, and then people started eventually making way. Yeah,
you couldn't just pull away, right? If you just pulled away, you'd have hit somebody who was standing directly in front of the car, right? You'd hit somebody who was on either side of you, possibly, right? There was lights on the street, but it was dark, right?
Yeah.
About 11 o'clock or so. Misty, kind of rainy that evening.
Sounds about right.
People inside your car were terrified, weren't they?
Objection as to what other people were.
Sustained.
What was the demeanor from the people inside your car? What did that indicate to you?
They wanted to go home.
They didn't want to be there anymore, right? They were terrified, right?
Most likely, yeah.
And you were thinking to yourself, oh my God, what have I gotten these folks into, right?
Yeah.
I brought all these people here. I'm the driver of this vehicle. I'm the one who put us here, right?
I think that's fair that I drove them there, yeah.
Well, nobody could reach over and you wouldn't let them take the car from you and say, let me drive now, right?
Right, but I didn't drive anyone somewhere where they didn't want to be. And then I dropped them off at the end of the street and they wanted to go home.
Okay. Because Mackenzie Traficante wanted to go and get in a fight.
I think everyone was just kind of under the impression that they knew we were going to go meet a couple of kids to fight. No one really expected 30 people to walk out of the house.
Keenan Frasick knew that you were going to go get into a fight?
Objection to what Keenan.
Sustained.
Something about Keenan's demeanor indicated to you that he wanted to go along for a fight?
I think I made it pretty apparent before we got in the car that that's what we were going to do.
Something about Demetrius Arphanis' demeanor indicated to you that he wanted to go get into a fight?
Yeah, I think I told the people that getting into my car, that's what we were planning on doing.
You know Keenan?
I did.
How close were you to Keenan?
We weren't super close. We were teammates.
Teammates on the football team? Demetrius Arphanis, was he a teammate on the football team?
Yes, he was.
Are they starters?
I don't believe at the time of the incident, no.
How many people were on the driver's side of the car?
Initially, when we were at the end of the street.
When you're right there parked in front of the house, when you first stopped at the house?
There was a crowd of people. I don't really know.
Too many to count?
Yeah.
How many people were on the passenger side?
It was kind of a big crowd all around the car.
And you said they were touching the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hands on the vehicle?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
Were they punching the car?
Objection asked and answered.
I'll allow it.
I believe so. Throwing stuff at the car, kicking the car, stuff like that.
At some point, the windshield gets smashed while you were there in front of the house, while these people are surrounding the vehicle. Are people inside your car saying anything?
Objection as to what they said.
I asked, are they saying anything?
I'm going to overrule the objection at this point, just yes or no, relative to the question. Please ask the question again.
Are people in your car at this point saying anything?
Yes.
And did that indicate to you that they were scared?
Yeah, I think we all were.
In fact, you were so scared, you reached into the center console where you knew you kept a pocket knife, right?
Sure.
And you did that because you were so scared, you thought, I might need to defend myself, right? You thought somebody might smash this window, right? They just smashed the windshield. What's going to stop them from smashing my window, right? And I'm stuck here in this vehicle, can't move forward because there's people surrounding it, right? And you thought, what am I going to do if people reach into this vehicle after smashing my window and pull me out of it, right? So you reached in and you grabbed the knife out, right? And you told us you put it on your waist. Did you mean you put it in your lap?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, because you didn't like take it and use the clip to put it on your belt or something, right? You didn't put it in your pocket, did you?
I did.
You didn't think, well, it's right here in the center console. If I need it, I can get it out at that point, right?
I was kind of buried under a bunch of random wires and stuff like that.
You didn't know what these people surrounding the car were going to do, did you? But you were scared enough to think that you needed that knife, right? Mr. Valle didn't know about that knife, did he?
Objection as to what Mr. Valle.
Sustained.
Had you ever told Mr. Valle about that knife?
Never came up in conversation.
Never came up in conversation. You had never told him about it, did you?
No, there wouldn't have been a reason to.
So as far as you knew, he had no knowledge that that knife was there.
Objection as to what he did.
Sustained.
And you were shown a picture of what you say is a copy of that knife, right? You said, though, that that knife that you had in the car had been in that vehicle since it was given down to you by your brother, right?
It was just in the family, that car. It's always been in the family.
And the knife had been in there as well, right?
And that's why I kept it for years, yeah.
So it wasn't a brand new shiny knife that you got for that purpose alone that day, was it? It was a tool that you kept there. You said for fishing?
Yeah, for anything you'd really need a knife for, it was just there.
Were you raised as somebody was told, you know, it's useful, helpful to have a pocket knife when you need one?
I just think a knife is useful in a lot of, random scenarios in life, just something to have, yes.
At some point, the situation became so terrifying inside that vehicle that despite the fact that there were people in front of it who might get hurt if you were moving, you thought that's what you needed to do to protect yourself and to protect the people in the car, right?
Was to grab the knife?
Well, you already had the knife, but now you thought, I've got to move this vehicle. Even if these people in front are going to get hurt, we might get hurt if I don't, right? And so you move the vehicle forward. People backed off of it, or they stayed off, they fell to the side? What happened?
Well, as I started itching the car forward, grabbing it and pushing it forward, people started dispersing a little bit, so it made a path for us to just kind of speed right off.
You saw a path and you took it. Car took off down the street at a high rate of speed, right?
Yeah.
And then you drove back and forth, up and down the street, right?
I don't remember that.
Throwing things out the window at this group, right?
I don't remember that happening.
That didn't happen, did it? You drove down, some people got out of the car around that area where you showed us on Exhibit 1, right? And in fact, do you recall that people from the party were now chasing the vehicle down the street as you were driving away?
Initially, yeah.
In fact, when you let these folks out, or when they got out of the car when it first stopped, a group of these Shelton kids were coming down chasing them, right?
I think so, yeah.
And you could see that at least in your rear view mirror, could you not? And then you drove the car off up ahead, correct? And at that point, you were alone in the vehicle?
I believe so, yeah.
And you drove up and you went and you turned down Farmhouse Lane, right?
No, I think I went down straight.
Down to the end of Laurel Glen?
Yeah, the dead end, I think it is.
Okay. We can't see that dead end on Exhibit 1, can we, behind you?
No, I don't.
It extends a further way down there, right? So you lost sight of the people that you had just dropped off at some point, did you not? You couldn't see them anymore because you had driven down to the end of the street, right? And you thought, oh my God, I just left all these folks at the street that I just drove them to with this crowd of people that just attacked the car, right? You were scared for them at that point, were you not?
I turned around and I went back.
You went back even though you were scared?
Yeah.
What did you think was going to happen if you didn't go back?
Good point, Special K.
That calls for speculation. I'm going to check that.
So,
You were worried if you didn't go back that your friends were going to get hurt, weren't you?
Yeah. That's fair to say.
Now, when you got back, can you show us again on Exhibit 1 where you stopped the vehicle when you came back to your friends after going down to the end of Laurel Glen? Near the intersection of Laurel Glen and Farmhouse? Okay. And where at that point, and when you stopped the car, you got out at that point, right? And where at that point was Keenan Frasick?
I believe on the curb, I think.
Did he come over to the vehicle?
The vehicle was kind of right up to it. I don't remember him walking like up on top of the vehicle, but he was around, I guess.
Did you talk to him or did he stay on the curb?
I don't remember any conversation I had with Keenan.
And did Mackenzie Trafcanti come up to the car or did she stay on the curb?
I don't remember if Mackenzie was up on the curb. I think she was on the curb. I don't remember any conversation with her either for coming up.
Will Sinjwald, did he stay on the curb?
Yeah.
Demetrius Arfanis, did he stay on the curb?
So yeah, they were all kind of just right there.
And so at the vehicle then, near the intersection of Laurel Glen and Farmhouse Lane, is yourself, Mr. Valle, and Tyler De Silva?
Not yet in the car, but yeah, we were all kind of there.
Inspecting the car, you told us?
Yeah, I got out and I started looking around.
And do you remember some Shelton High kids coming up and having an interaction with you?
I don't remember any conversation I had with them. I remember that they were there or at least around the area. Then I got back in the car.
How close were you to Mr. Valle?
Around the car. I was inside of it, so.
You didn't get out of the car or you got back in the car?
I got back in the car.
Okay. Do you know Tyler Rich?
I don't.
Do you know Ricky or Enrico Fiola?
I heard about him prior to the incident. I didn't know him.
Did you see either Mr. Rich or Mr. Fiola down there at the vehicle when you were at Farmhouse Lane in Laurel Glen Drive?
I think they were in the area. I don't remember. I don't recall seeing them. I don't remember that.
Okay. And you've told us that there was some discussion down at the car about the damage, right?
Yeah.
You told us you were upset about the damage, right?
I was. I was going around looking at the damage on my car.
You told us you were distraught about the damage, right?
I explained this to my parents, stuff like that, things about damage, insurance, all that.
And you didn't know any of these kids at 43 Laurel Glen Drive?
I didn't know.
But you knew that the kid that you'd gotten in the fight with at 5 Lazy Brook was there at that party at 43 Laurel Glen Drive, right?
Yeah, I didn't see him particularly, but I kind of got the impression he was there from what they were kind of screaming and stuff, and why we were there. the first place.
And you told us that there was discussion about, look what they did to your car, right?
Yes.
You were visibly upset.
Yeah.
Mr. Valle, you said, was visibly upset.
Yeah.
Mr. De Silva also visibly upset.
I think everyone kind of was. You're kind of all in a state of shock about what just happened.
While you're standing there by the car, and these Shelton High kids, how far away were they?
I don't remember. They were
Further down towards the house?
I would assume so.
Not close enough that you could say to them, hey, what'd you guys do to my car?
I don't remember having any conversation with them when they were there.
They were too far away to have a conversation with, right? They didn't approach you guys and say, hey, let's squash this beef right now, did they?
Not me, no.
Did they approach anybody in your group?
Squash this beef?
I drove off. I don't know. I wasn't really there.
Okay. When you drove off, though, was before what you've just now described, with everybody being at the car and inspecting it for damage, right? So when you're at the car inspecting it for damage, you didn't see any of these Shelton High kids come down and have a conversation with you guys as you're inspecting the car, did you?
I didn't have any conversation there.
And then you told us at some point you understood that Tyler De Silva wanted to go back to 43 Laurel Glen Drive, right? Because he knew, as far as you understood it, some of the kids there.
Right.
You live in Norwalk, right? Is that where you grew up? So you're a lifelong Norwalk resident?
Yeah.
And Tyler De Silva is not from Norwalk, right? He was living in Milford at this time, but he had grown up in Shelton for some part of his life, had he not?
I believe so. Yeah.
And he knew some of these kids at the Shelton party.
Right.
And he told you,
That's what he told.
your understanding was that he knew some of these kids at the Shelton party, and he wanted to go back and make peace.
But his family, I guess, knew a lot of their families. So that was the whole purpose.
And at this point, you could have just left the area, right? Could have hopped in the car and said, everybody, let's go home. This is a bad idea, right?
Yeah.
You were 16 at the time.
I was.
How long had you been driving?
Maybe 8 months, 9 months.
Were you supposed to have these kids in your car?
I was not.
And then Mr. Valle came up to you and he said, where's the knife? Give me the knife, right?
Yeah.
Like that aggressively?
I wouldn't say it was that aggressive, but it was just asking for it.
He was just like, hey, where's that knife that you had, right?
I don't think it was that aggressive, no.
He wasn't that aggressive about it.
He was aggressive, but it wasn't what you just presented.
And he didn't want something else at that point, did he?
Just a knife. He didn't want anything else. No.
He didn't indicate to you, hey, let's all grab some weapons and go back there, right? He didn't say, I want that knife so that, let's go back and get our revenge, right? In fact, you understood from his demeanor that he was also scared, right?
More upset, I presume.
You presume.
He was a little bit more angry in his demeanor.
Ooh, that was bad for defense.
You were still scared.
I was.
You thought these kids might come back down the street again, right?
Not necessarily.
That didn't cross your mind?
Well, I knew I had the car, so if anything, we could have just driven out of there.
But you didn't. Tyler De Silva was adamant that he wanted to go back and make peace.
I'm going to object us to Tyler Silva said.
Tyler De Silva was adamant that he wanted to go back and make peace, correct?
Objection, that calls for hearsay.
You understood that Tyler De Silva wanted to go back and make peace?
Yeah. Manly though.
You understand?
People there.
Mr. Valle knew people there?
Both of them at the time knew people from Shaw, since they were from Milford.
Okay. So you got back in the driver's seat, right?
Yeah.
You saw Mr. Valle go digging through the console to get the knife, right? You saw Mr. Valle go digging through the glove box to get the knife, right? You saw him tearing up the car to try and find the knife, right? You didn't see any of that, did you?
No.
You gave it to him?
When he asked for it.
He opened the blade to inspect it, right?
No.
Took that knife and he got it ready, right?
No.
Took that knife that you gave him and he put it in his pocket, right?
I believe so. I don't remember where he put it. He didn't open it.
And you understood or felt like you needed to take Mr. De Silva back to 43 Laurel Glen Drive?
I don't understand the question. Can you repeat that?
You didn't say, I'm not taking you back to 43 Laurel Glen Drive, right? All three of you get back into the car. You say that Mr. Valle got into the passenger side?
Yes.
Beside you? And that Mr. De Silva got in the back?
Yeah.
On the passenger side as well?
Yes.
You drove up, and did you park sort of near the driveway at that point?
No, a little further back. I wasn't ever parked. I was always in drive, just
foot on the brake.
Yeah.
You weren't expecting anybody to get out of that car and get into a fight, were you?
It wasn't aggressive at that point.
There was no talk in the car as you drove down there about, we're going to get them now.
Objection as to what was said in the car.
I'm going to strike the last answer, Madam, and form of the jury. Thank you.
Was there conversation in the car on the way down there?
It was a very brief drive. I don't remember any conversation.
Nothing about what was occurring in the vehicle on the way down there led you to believe that there was about to be a fight, was there? And as you got there, you're in the middle of the street. There's cars parked on both sides, correct?
Yeah.
And you stop the car. You don't put it in park, but you keep it running. You got your foot on the brake. You see Mr. De Silva get out of the car.
Right.
You see Mr. Valle get out of the car.
Right.
Mr. Valle doesn't have the knife in his hand at that point, does he?
I don't remember what he had in his hand. I just know they both got out of the car and just started walking towards him.
Not in an aggressive way. Not screaming threats at the people that are already in the yard, right? You saw them, you said you were looking over your shoulder, looking out the window, watching them the whole time. How many people were in the lawn?
The same amount, probably about 30 kids.
Your two friends get out and they walk up, right? You can see them approach these 30 kids. Those 30 kids swarm forward to meet them. They start getting aggressive with these two kids, right?
don't remember getting aggressive until someone punched Lito. It was kind of cordial, I guess, initially.
Okay.
Maybe somebody in the crowd screaming or something, but it wasn't a fight at that point.
Could you hear either of your friends screaming anything?
No.
Did you see either of your friends approach them in a fighting posture?
No.
Did you see either of your friends square up with anybody? You just saw Mr. Valle get punched in the face, right?
About 10 seconds, 15 seconds in, yeah. Someone just came and hit him.
Did you see Mr. Valle with his shirt up over his head?
I don't recall that, no.
And you told us that once Mr. Valle got punched in the face, chaos broke out, right? You couldn't see Mr. Valle anymore, could you? You couldn't see Mr. De Silva anymore, could you? But you could see bodies moving and rolling around, right? And it looked like 30 people had descended onto 2 people, did it not?
Yeah, I did.
You could see punching and kicking going on, could you not?
I did.
You could see stomping going on, could you not?
Yeah.
You were scared for your friends at that point, were you not?
I was.
Terrified about what was happening to them, right?
I was.
So scared that you didn't even get out of the car, did you?
I wanted to be there just in case they got out so they could get in my car and we could leave.
You didn't want to go get into that scrum, did you?
I felt like I'd be more helpful just as the way to escape rather than jump in. So I stayed in the car.
You didn't know if your friends were going to come out of that fight, did you?
I hope so.
But you didn't know, did you?
No.
You didn't know what was going to happen when 30 took on 2, did you?
No.
That was practically the whole Shelton High School football team, wasn't it?
That's fair to say, I guess.
You were so scared, you didn't want to get out of that car, right?
Defense is doing a good job here.
Because it was terrifying to watch, was it not?
Objection estimated.
At some point, you were able to see Mr. Valle and Mr. De Silva again, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Valle came up to the car, correct?
Yes.
Door opens slightly, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Interior light comes on because the door is opened, right?
Yeah.
In fact, when he came up to that car, his momentum was moving forward towards the car as though he'd been pushed, was it not?
I don't remember that. Just remember.
Did you hear a bump as he hit the car?
I don't remember that.
He opened the door. Could you see his face?
I don't remember what it looked like at that moment. It was kind of real quick.
You didn't see Mr. De Silva anywhere, did you? You could still see that a fight was going on, could you not?
I did.
Could you see what appeared to be flashlights or phone lights at that point?
I believe so, yeah.
When you saw Mr. Valle, but you didn't see Mr. De Silva, you were terrified about what had happened to Mr. De Silva, were you not?
Yeah.
You wondered if he was going to get killed, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then you lost sight of Mr. Valle again as he headed back in towards the fight, right?
Yeah.
You saw Mr. Valle go to the yard, right?
He left my car. I think he went towards the yard.
And at some point, as he got onto the yard, you couldn't see him anymore, could you?
No.
But you could still see that those 30 kids hadn't gone anywhere, right?
Everyone was kind of still scattered along the lawn.
And then at some point, you saw Mr. De Silva come back to the car?
Yes.
He gets into the car, right?
Right.
And you can see him at that point, right?
I can.
And you told us he's been battered, right?
Yeah.
He looked beaten and bloodied, right? You could tell he had obviously been injured in the course of the fight where you lost track of him, right? You said Mr. Valle got back into the car, into the passenger seat, right? You said he was all distraught, right?
Good.
What was distraught about his face?
It wasn't necessarily his face. He just got in and he was just in shock, I think. And he said, like, oh my fucking God, I think I just stabbed somebody, or I think I just stabbed people, or something along those lines.
He didn't say, man, I just got us payback for what happened, right?
Oh.
No.
He didn't seem happy about what had happened. He seemed distraught.
Yeah, he looked in shock, yeah.
Still scared?
Yeah, probably.
Probably, that's also speculation.
That's the answer. The question was already asked.
And then you took off down Laurel Glen Drive, right? That's what you told us.
To Adams.
Towards Adam.
Towards Adam, yeah.
You hit a cul-de-sac and you told us that Mr. Valle told you to stop the car. And he got out and threw the knife.
Yes.
You could see the knife in his hand?
Yes.
You could see it in his hand. Was it open or closed? Still open?
When he got in the car.
From when he got out of the car?
The car?
He got into the car and he still had the knife open on him, you're saying?
Yes, when he got in the car and said what he said, he had the knife in his hand.
Could you see blood on the knife?
I can't recall seeing any blood on it.
You saw the knife leave his hand and go flipping into the woods?
It was pretty dark.
It was pretty dark, wasn't it?
It was.
How far away from the car did he get in order to throw that knife?
Just stepped right outside.
Just right outside the car? In front?
Yeah. I was angled parallel to the woods. So he just opened the door and stepped right out into it.
He said he got back into the car at that point, didn't say anything.
Yeah.
You drove back down to Laurel Glen Drive where the people you had left were still there.
Yes.
And some of those people got into Madison Traficante's car, Mackenzie's sister.
Yeah, his sister arrived around the same time we were driving down.
Mr. Valle got into the same vehicle. Tyler gets into the front passenger with you.
Yes.
You had to use Google Maps to get out of there, right? Because you didn't know where you were. And then you went and you met Owen De Silva?
Yep.
Where was that?
At Tyler's house. Tyler's house.
And you said when you saw both Mr. Valle and Mr. De Silva, they were both beat up and bloodied up, right?
Yeah.
Well, there was no conversation in the car about what had happened. It was just, how are we going to get back at these guys?
That was kind of what was going through my head almost. I'm not sure about Tyler, but that was a conversation we were talking about majority of the time.
And you texted on this group chat, enjoy the hospital stay?
I didn't know the severity of the situation. When Lito told me he stabbed somebody, I just assumed it wasn't anything major just because people were still texting in the group chat. Like the group chats were still flowing, like spamming after everything happened. So I just assumed that they just jumped us, Lito stabbed maybe someone in the leg or something. That was just my perfect response, I guess. I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't know what happened.
You went home and you talked to your dad and he said, this is more serious than what you think, son.
Yeah, it was kind of that tone. Yeah.
And when the cops called you on May 15th and said, we'd like to talk to you about this, you told them you weren't going to come in and talk to them, right?
I wasn't on the phone. I believe that's something my dad probably said.
You didn't go in and talk to them, right? You were worried about your involvement in this, right?
Yes.
And you waited 6 months until you got an agreement concerning prosecution in place before you talked to them, right?
Yes, sir.
In fact, you did that right here in this courthouse, did you not?
Yes.
And after you got that, it's the first time that you talked to anybody about this, right?
That is true.
And you're telling us now today that you gave Mr. Valle the knife before driving everybody back down to 43 Laurel Glen Drive, right?
Yes.
And this prosecution agreement that you have, it's for complete immunity, right?
From the events that happened on that day, yeah.
You can't be prosecuted for anything that happened on May 14th, right?
Not at this time, though.
And those potential things that you might have been prosecuted for could be murder, right?
I was told assault in the first degree or something along those lines.
You would agree that the agreement itself talks about the homicide of James McGrath and the assaults on Thomas Connery Jr., Ryan Hines, and Faison Teal that took place on May 14th, right?
That's correct.
One of the things that you could be prosecuted for would be being an accessory to a murder, right?
I think that's possible.
And could be prosecuted for assaults, correct?
I believe so.
You could be possibly prosecuted for conspiracy to commit those things, correct?
I guess so.
And you've had what's explained to you, what's known as your maximum exposure explained to you, right?
Yeah.
That if you were prosecuted for these things and if you were convicted of these things, you could spend your life in prison, correct?
Yes, so.
Right? 60 years for accessory to murder, right?
So.
20 years for an assault in the first degree, right?
No.
You didn't want to tell anybody your involvement in this case until you got that in place, right?
Yeah.
And your understanding is that you have to come in here and testify truthfully in order for this agreement to hold, right?
Yeah.
Your immunity from all those things depends upon who thinking that you testified truthfully.
I think the state.
Not me, right? I don't make that decision, do I? The state's attorney makes that decision, right?
I believe so.
You got to come in here, testify truthfully, or you could find yourself prosecuted for all those things.
I believe so.
And so you gave them a statement on November 2nd, right? And then they told you, you know what? We want to talk to you again. And you talked to them again on November 28th, right?
Yes.
Because they wanted to clarify some things, right?
Yes.
They wanted to clarify the timing of when the knife was exchanged, right?
I believe so.
And they wanted to clarify why your phone had been reset on October 1st, 2022, before you spoke to them, right? Factory reset, right?
No. I had water damage in the phone, and I got a new phone, and I think the iCloud messed up. I was syncing between my mother's and mine. Our texts are kind of merged. Nothing was deleted, but they couldn't find the group chat. I removed myself from the group chat after the event happened.
So by the time you went and talked to the officers after you'd gotten your immunity agreement in place, your phone had been reset.
It wasn't reset.
It was a new phone altogether?
I got a new phone, but everything was still on it and intact.
That's what they told you? We want to come in and clarify why your phone is everything and intact?
I didn't respond. I didn't respond to anybody texting me for the first 3 weeks, a month after everything happened. But people were texting me, so they assumed, I think, that I was removing messages that I was sending back when I just wasn't responding. So I think they wanted to have me come in and just explain why there weren't any texts on my end. I was advised not to text people.
Got a good lawyer.
So, sir, you're coming in here and you're telling us, or trying to tell us, as close to what you told those officers, right?
Yes.
Because you fear if you change any of that, the state's going to think you're not testifying truthfully, right?
There wouldn't be any need to change it. It's all been the truth.
And you're telling us that the knife that you gave to Mr. Valle, right?
After he asked for it, yes.
That was your knife, right?
My knife.
That you kept in the vehicle, right? That you drove these folks back down to this party, right?
Yeah, Tyler and Lito.
Tyler and Lito, right? After you gave them this knife, right?
After I handed it to Lito, yeah.
And now you're telling us that the knife was thrown by Mr. Valle.
Yeah.
That's why we can't find the knife, right?
I would assume so.
Sir, it's not that you needed to get rid of that knife because, again, for 6 months you didn't want to talk to anybody about this, right?
No.
He's trying to blame the witness for disposing of the knife. If he can get that off of Raul.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Remove some of the consciousness of guilt.
Jack, counsel just asked you a little bit about the group chat. You indicated on cross-examination that you removed yourself from the group chat. Why did you do that?
I wanted to disassociate myself from everything that happened on that day.
So once you understood the severity of what happened, you got out of the group chat? So what happens when you remove yourself from the group chat on your phone? What happens?
I think it deletes it off my device, but I think it says something in other people's phones like I've left the group chat.
Left the group chat. So in other words, if you wanted to go back into the group chat, you couldn't do it?
I couldn't unless I was added back into it.
Is that something that is saved on the cloud for some reason or no? Do you know?
I think it would be.
It would be? Okay. And with regards to, tell me the circumstances surrounding you getting a new phone. Why did you get a new phone?
I think I'd gone to Block Island or I'd gone somewhere for like just get away, I think, and I had walked in the water with it, got water damage. It was fine, but the battery was draining, so I just brought it to Apple. Said I couldn't repair it. It was water damage, so I needed to get a new phone.
And when you got a new phone, did the contents of your old phone, was it saved in the cloud? And
yeah, there was like a SIM card, and I just used the same one. I got a new phone. I got two phones, one from my father's coworker right after everything happened because they had taken my phone, the state. So when the state took my phone, I needed a phone, and I couldn't just buy a new one. So I had my dad's friend lend me her phone. So syncing with that phone, I have contacts on my phone right now from her phone still, my mom's phone, on my phone still. So I think merging was kind of not really error filled, I guess, but I got a new phone eventually after the water damage.
So the phone that you had on the night of May 14, 2022, that was seized by the state of Connecticut. Or Shelton PD, right?
Shelton PD, I think.
And with regards to, we were asked a little bit about going over to 43 Laurel Glen. When you were driving over there, you told people, or at least the discussion in the car was apparent that you were going there to fight. And what was your understanding about going there to fight? Did you think you were going to fight a couple kids? It was going to be like a 3-on-3 fight.
That's what I assumed it was.
Right. Now the fight back at Lazy Brook, that was 3-on-1, right? That was you, Lito, the defendant, and Tyler on Ryan Hines, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that wasn't really a fair fight, but you think you were going to go to 43 Laurel Glen to kind of hash it out and have a fist fight?
Right.
Were you going there to going to 43 Laurel Glen to use any weapons in fight, or was it going to be a fist fight?
Fist fight.
And was the defendant in agreement to go there and fight?
Yeah.
And when you got there, you said that people came out of the house and surrounded the car, and then you guys eventually got scared, right? And you left and you went down the street, right? And people who didn't want to be involved got out of the car, right?
Yeah, I think everyone got out of the car.
But at some point, when you were down the street, do you know whether or not people from the Shelton crew came down to talk to or confront anybody down the street?
They did.
They did, right? And was the defendant out of the car at that point?
Yeah.
And was Tyler out of the car at that point?
He was.
And was there any physical altercation down the street at that point when people were out of the car?
I believe so.
What kind of things were going on? Were people arguing?
I don't remember any arguing at all, any fighting at all.
But at that point, at some point in time, those individuals left. Do you recall them leaving? What do you recall about down the street?
Coming back down the street, and then getting out of the car, and then looking at the damage after I had driven down the street.
And do you recall where the Shelton kids were at that moment in time, or no?
I recall where they were.
Okay. But there was no physical altercation that took place down near the corner of Laurel Glen and Farmhouse Road. Nobody complaining about we just got beat up, right? No one said we got beat up. No physical altercation. Did you observe anything? No. And you indicated that when the defendant asked for the knife, he was more aggressive, more angry with his demeanor. What do you mean by that?
He was just, you could tell he was angry.
Was he mad, pissed off?
Yeah.
Where do you, before you gave him the knife, do you know where it was before you gave it to him?
I think when I had gotten out of the car initially to look at the damage, I just put it down on not the center console, but the area right in between it, the radio.
Showing you states 32. So you're talking about this area here?
Yeah.
So it would have been just below the radio area?
Yeah, that's a whole platform right there. So I knew we were right there.
By the way, while we're looking at the states 32, in order to drive your car, put it into drive versus, is that up here on the
Yeah.
column?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of those cars where it has the lower, it's up on the column.
It's a lower. That's also a compartment, but it's also like a platform.
But in other words, if you have to drive this car forward or backwards, your gear shifter is on the column.
Yep.
Now, when you indicated that after you got out of the car, you assessed the damage, the defendant asks for the knife.
Thank you so much.
There's this conversation, and you agree to go back down to 43 Laurel Glen.
Yes.
You could have left Laurel Glen at that point, right?
Yeah.
You could have driven the other way. Could you have?
I thought it was a dead end.
Could you have put maybe Tyler's address into your phone and followed Waze or Google Maps and driven out of the area? But you didn't do that. And when you went back down to 43 Laurel Glen, you indicated there was a lot of people in the front yard.
We're almost done.
Counsel asked you on cross-examination about people swarming everybody, and you indicated that, yeah, look, 30 people were involved. Are you certain that 30 people were fighting during the fight?
No, it just appeared like a lot of people. I asked probably 30 people there.
So you're not sure that not everybody was fighting?
I don't think so, but
Were there a lot of people watching?
I couldn't really tell who was fighting and who wasn't, but it was pretty chaotic.
So when counsel asked you about, 30 people were fighting your friends, you can't really tell for sure who was fighting. You just know that there was a lot of people and it was chaotic.
Right. I don't know who individually was fighting, but I knew that there was a lot of people there.
Right. So when he indicated that it could have been, 15 kids on each person, it could also have been 2 or 3 kids on your friends. You just couldn't say, right?
No, I saw more than 2 or 3.
All right.
Yeah.
But it wasn't all 30.
No, I don't think so.
Thanks, Ricky. Thank you.
Now, when you get down to the Adams Drive and the defendant throws the knife, he doesn't say, let's get out of here, let's go.
That's possible, but I don't remember the conversation. Really.
Now, with regards to your immunity agreement that the defense counsel brings up, did the state of Connecticut approach you about your testimony in this case?
I think my attorney did.
Your attorney approached us?
So, yeah.
Because you had information for us?
Yeah.
And with regards to your exposure in the case, was it explained to you that you could be paroled on certain crimes if you were convicted because of your age?
I believe so. Yeah.
Is it Gam too?
And why did you withdraw?
Thank you very much. Oh, withdrawn. We got to withdraw. 74.
In your understanding about your agreement is what?
Thank you.
My understanding of the agreement
of the agreement with the state of Connecticut is what?
Is that I gave a detailed explanation on what happened. The truth on what happened, that I wouldn't be prosecuted for it.
And is that explanation from your perspective about what you remember happened on May 14th of 2022?
Yes.
No further questions.
Any additional questions?
Just briefly.
And you were just asked, the state didn't approach you about this prosecution agreement, right?
Right.
Your attorney, I guess, approached them and said, hey, can we get a prosecution agreement here?
I was telling my attorney went to the state.
State's attorney didn't come to you and say, nope, sorry, son, we got to arrest you. We're not giving you an immunity agreement, right?
No.
Objection is what the state's attorney.
State's attorney didn't say, no, we're not good. The state's attorney didn't refuse to give you this immunity agreement, did they?
I don't believe so.
No, you signed it, right? In this courthouse, right? Nothing further.
Anything else?
Nothing.
All right.
You may step out of your
I think we're done for the day. It's only a half a day today.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I indicated that it would be a half day today, so we are prepared to adjourn. I'm just going to once again remind you to abide by the rule of jury conduct that I just have described to you. Again, at the beginning of the trial and as we've been going through the trial, just highlighting, please try to stay away from media. Also, no conversation with anyone including each other about this.
Terrible to listen to.
No visiting the scenes that have been discussed or any of the locations that have been discussed, and no conducting independent research or investigation outside of the evidence presented here in the courtroom. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will be back again for this round tomorrow. Okay? Thank you.
So they say we'll be back to start the trial tomorrow. So we are coming back tomorrow. No Friday off here. A couple things I want to go over about what just happened here. First of all, this was incredible. Great work by the defense. You nailed this one. You used the state's witness to basically tell Raul's story and to put as a seed in the mind of the jury the fear that Raul would have felt in that situation. That was very, very effective. Almost to the point where I wonder if the state should have called this guy. It might have been better not to call him at all. Of course, then he doesn't testify, doesn't get his deal, so it would have been bad for him. But But defense did a great job with this witness. A couple things that came out that didn't really get accented that I think should have. When we're listening to Jack Snyder talk about driving away, they were surrounded by people. They're driving away from the scene after they pulled up the first time. They drive down the road, and people are scared in the car, and they want to get out. Oh, my goodness. Do I have a prank call right now? That would be great. Just 1 second. Hang on. Oh, did they hang up? Seriously? So close. As they drive away from the house and they're scared and they want to get out, they're like, I don't want to be in this anymore. I don't want to be in this situation. He says all the people who didn't want to get in the fight got out. Raul got out of the car right then. He's already got the knife in his pocket, apparently, but he gets out of the car and is sitting on the curb, and they don't fight, and the people do come together, and there's not a fight there. I thought defense would have highlighted that and mentioned that Raul was one of the ones who did not. Was like, I'm not down with this anymore. I was cool with it before, but this is not a good situation to be in. I'm not going to happen. Very sad, but it does paint a little different picture. Defense doesn't like the testimony that Raul threw the knife. This is new testimony, right? This is the first thing we've heard from Jack Snyder that was very, very different from all the other accounts, and that was that they stopped. Raul gets out and chucks the knife into the woods. They looked for that knife. They searched for it. They brought cadaver dogs in. They brought metal detectorists who probably are not as good as me. I'm being humble here, but it's truthful. They could not find the knife, and it's probably still there. It's probably stuck in a tree. I don't know. The knife itself, somebody said it would have been that's a switchblade. That is a thumb-activated knife where it has a little post on the blade itself that you push with your thumb to open it. It opens quickly, but it's not spring-loaded. It actually locks out once it's open. That's a safety mechanism to prevent it from closing on your hand when using it. We might need somebody to go up there and find the knife for them because they need it. It can be done. It can be done. You got the map. We got a map. Let's road trip to Connecticut. No, I would not get involved in a case like this when it's happening. Maybe after it's over, if I have reason to be in Connecticut, we could go find it for them. Depending on who owns the property, they'd have to let us on, get permission. Saturday, yeah, we've got the half a day off. We could make it. Anyway, look in the red bush. Look in the red bush. That's where it is. Knife is in the bush. I told you I thought there was going to be a story that comes out that changes the story a little bit, and defense has started that. They've laid the groundwork for laying that. I think Raul, just in tears in court, that was a good optic. Him just being stoic during all of this was not a good look for me. Got somebody on the phone. Let's see who it is. Hello? Hello? Hang on. Hello?
Call from
Sloth Life. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm okay. Don't ask me anything about this case because I haven't watched the last couple of days. Sorry.
It's okay. You've got half a day to rewatch on 2x speed.
To catch up, yeah. I'm just phoning. Some of the people in the chat know that from the start of the year I have been struggling with trying to gain some weight. And I finally decided to go to the doctors just under 2 weeks ago. So, unfortunately, some of my results have come back not great. They are very high in one area, and they're sort of rushing me. I got sent to see a consultant yesterday. I'm going for day surgery on Tuesday. So I know you don't ask me to do the timestamps, but I really enjoy doing them. But my head over the last 2 days has been so pickled, as we see here, with all this information that I just haven't been able to focus. I'm going from the positive view. They've said 25% chance it's cancer, but I'm going 75% chance it's not.
That's a great way to look at it.
We'll go with that and we'll look at that. But my head was a bit all over the place, so I just haven't been focused on the trial or doing the timestamps.
Yeah.
So apologies to those that do enjoy them, but I will get back to them now. My head's in a better place now.
We're gonna add you to a prayer list whether you like it or not. So we'll keep you in mind as well, and hopefully for the best as the tests move forward. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. I'm definitely a believer in prayer. As I say, I always pray for everyone else in the chat as well, but I haven't been engaging with people the same in chat, so I just like to explain myself, and plus, as I say, I get these 100 free minutes, and I like to phone people, and now I've got Amber's burner number, so the pickle posse leader is in for she doesn't know what.
I recommend calling late at night. Amber's, you'd be surprised how late Amber's up. I wake up oftentimes. Amber's up and talking in mod chat. So anytime, day or night, you can pretty much call her. She's going to answer. So
she might regret putting that number. I actually took a photograph, a screenshot. So.
Save it. Save it to your favorites.
It's in my favourites, but where else might I post it? She might suddenly get random calls from all over Scotland. No, I won't, Eeyore. I won't definitely pee her off, no. Anyway, I know you've got your bathroom to do, and I saw that you used your other knife last night on Courtroom Confidential.
Yes,
excellent.
Thank you so much. I love that knife. It is beautiful.
No, I enjoyed the show with Josh. It was great. Obviously, the time difference, I watch it in the mornings. But no, great show again. So thanks for everything. Hope everyone else in your family is doing well.
They are. They're doing. We've got AC working now. Today is beautiful. It's wonderful. It's cold upstairs and down.
I heard that earlier. It's just that's a non-concept in Scotland, AC.
Let me tell you what happened. First of all, for background. A couple days ago, we thought the AC was fixed, left it on for 5 hours. We only paid a couple $100s to the guy, I think 500 something. And we left it on for 5 hours, went upstairs. The AC was blowing air at 112 degrees. That's like a heater. It's hotter out of the AC because of the whole attic heater space thing. And it blows, the way my upstairs bathroom works, it blows right on the toilet seat. So we had a heated toilet seat. This morning, my youngest son went up and said, "Dad, it was cold last night. It's blowing cold air. And in the bathroom, the toilet seat's freezing." So it's working now. It's complete difference.
A child so happy to have a cold toilet seat.
Yes.
Excellent. A child cruelty. How much dare you make those children sit in a hot toilet seat?
Yes. In the winter, it's nice. A little heated seat. I can see where that would be a nice amenity, but.
Yes, well, we'll leave that. We don't want another BD situation, so let's just forget about adding extras to the bathroom. So,
eventually, that's going to happen.
Sorry.
Sloth Life, keep us in the loop. Let us know how things are going.
I will.
Be there for you.
As I say, I just got into my own head for a little couple of days, but I'm back to my usual self now. So, all good, as they say, all good. And as long as we wake up in the morning, it's still good. So.
Yep. It's wonderful to hear your voice.
Have a great rest of the day. Lovely to talk to you too. And hi to everyone in chat. And I'll no doubt catch up with you all shortly. So take care, everyone. And see you all tomorrow.
All right. Bye. Love Sloth Life. Wonderful. She does, what she was mentioning, she does on a lot of our old videos. She'll go back. First of all, she's there live. Okay, and then she goes back and she enters timestamps as a message, and I'll pin the message at the top of the video. She'll enter timestamps for all the, here's the point this happens, here's the point this happens. And for those who are on catch-up, it's really quick to jump through and jump to the next thing, or if you want to go back and find something. It's incredible. Thank you very much. Try that for a while. It's brutal, Redman. It's brutal. It's a ton of work, so thanks. And if you can add her to your good thoughts and prayer list, that would be great. She's got some tests coming up that we're hopeful, as she is, that the 75% is right. So, all right. Where are we at? Josh has requested something before we break for the day. And Josh, as you know, is the finder of all things good when it comes to true crime on the internet. He has given me, let's see. You said it was Middleton. Josh, are you still here? Let me see if we can find this really quickly. Judge Middleton on the 25th, which was yesterday. Judge Middleton. So Judge Jeffrey Middleton, he's a ponytail judge, if you remember. Let's do a quick check here. 25th, yesterday. Josh, what was the timestamp on that one? Do you have that still? It was in chat. Does somebody remember? Did Josh leave us after I teased this? We're all family here, Mike. It's great. We can disagree. Family has the best fights sometimes, but at the end of the day, we're still family. Josh has gone fishing. Greeters. I'm not sure. I looked at this and I immediately thought 8675309. This is like 8 hours. No judge works for more than 8 hours a day. I know this is not right. Let's see. Was it zoning hearing violation? Okay, Josh says, traffic formal hearing 3B, District Court 3B, District Court on the 25th. There it is. He says the whole thing. 14 minutes and 9 seconds. Got it. Josh, here we go. Thank you very much for this one, Josh. It's going to be a little bit of a reset. And Josh says, I'm here if you'll look in mod chat. Where I told him, this is where I am. This is where I'm at. Okay, here we go. Let's see what Josh has for us today. This is Judge Middleton.
Got somebody other than Howard in the waiting room. Let's see who that is. Mr. Summy, why don't you come have a seat right over here?
Police are here. Prosecution's here. Defendant is here.
All right, we're back. We're right on time. We're going to start a formal hearing. Traffic matter. And show cause. Oh boy, the lights are blinking. I hope that the power's going to go out. I think it's storming, is it? Mr. Jelinek is here by Zoom. Go ahead and have a seat.
Does the court have the minute or the
jurat?
Yeah, they said that.
Yeah, I do.
Did it? Because they had asked us, but we don't see that.
Mr. Jelinek, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
My recollection is this was supposed to be a live hearing rather than Zoom, but you're here. Mr. Kuhlman is here. Ms. Geschwint is here, but I have another matter I have to address. So stay right where you are. I'll put you in the waiting room and I'll bring you in a moment, all right?
Okay.
This may take a few minutes.
All right, we're ready. Let's kick this thing off, Judge.
All right, I'll get through this if I don't sneeze.
Oh, wait for the sneeze. Hold.
As I indicated, we got a lot going on this morning, and this is one of the things that is going on. This is file number 251019520I-1. The civil infraction cases have a long case number. I'm not sure why. It's in the matter of Cole Aaron Summy. That's you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Summy got a ticket on April 27th, Chicago Road in Ottawa, for disobeying a traffic signal. The ticket says he went through a solid red light.
Ooh.
There was an informal hearing with the magistrate earlier, and the defendant appealed that and asked for a formal hearing. That's in front of the judge. He posted a bond, and the matter is set for trial this morning. Mr. Timothy Reed, the Sturgis City Attorney, is present.
So he ran a red light.
As well as Officer Dylan Ware of the Sturgis Police Department, who issued the citation. The fine, I believe, was $120. The defendant did post bond in that amount. The plaintiff filed a jurat earlier this week, formally charging this as disobeying a traffic signal. Good morning, Mr. Reed.
Good morning, Your Honor.
What's the people's position here?
I guess if the defendant still wishes for the hearing, we're prepared to move forward with the hearing.
Is that what you wish, Mr. Summey?
I would just would like to see if there's any options as far as me getting a fine and not having to get the points on my license and stuff like that, because I wasn't expecting for me to be broadly punished for this citation, because if I had not stopped at the red light and I had just gone through it and almost hit somebody, I'm getting the same charge and the same amount of points, and there's no degree to it like speeding or anything like that. So,
well, the traffic code, the Michigan Motor Vehicle Code, has a schedule of crimes and civil infractions, and there are points assigned to each offense and fines by fee schedule. This is a civil infraction. It's not a crime. You don't get convicted of guilty of a civil infraction. You're found responsible or not responsible. You can't go to jail for a civil infraction. And the burden of proof is lower. In a criminal case, you have to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. In a civil infraction case, you only have to prove guilt beyond a preponderance, which is 51% to 49%. So it's a lower burden of proof. It's not a crime. You can't go to jail. You've already paid the fine. The officer's here on overtime. He came in once before to testify. He's here again. Mr. Reed, any response to that?
I mean, we're here for the hearing. The charge is the charge.
Yes, so the city's not willing at this point to
No
alter
deal.
it.
No deal, sir.
With that in mind, you just want to pay the $120 fine and you wish to have a hearing on this.
if I pay the fine, am I going to get the points and stuff?
Yeah,
like
you're
that?
going to get 2 points.
Well, then, yes, I'd like to continue this.
All right.
I mean, if people can sit in jail and fight their case and have it get dumbed down, all because that the courts don't want to go to trial and they'll just give them a better deal. I don't understand how I can't get at least a warning on this, and I'll never do it again. I've definitely have learned my lesson there, but I don't feel like I should get the points if I came all the way up to the stoplight and I stopped.
Well, we haven't gotten to the facts yet, so I don't know. But
I need to turn on points for this. Hang on. We're going to turn up. This is going to make a mess in chat. I apologize. But we're going to turn on points briefly. Just 1 second. Loyalty points.
right now you have 0 points on your driving record, so this isn't going to cost you your driver's license.
Points are active just for right now.
You've had some points in the past, but they've all gone away, so you have 0 points. In fact, even with this on there, it shows 0 points. This carries no points.
It carries points. It's just when they appeal, it doesn't add
direct points. All right. Okay. I thought it carried 2 points.
It does.
All right. So you're not going to lose your driver's license. You're going to get 2 points on your driving record. You've already paid the $120 fine. So I'll use your bond to pay your fine. The case will be done. But if you wish to have a hearing, the city's ready to go forward.
Yes, I would like a hearing if the
all right, well then let's
gonna
just go through it.
Okay. My first witness is Cole Summey.
All right, well, let's have Mr. Ware and Mr. Summey both raise their right hand. Mr. Summey?
We can accrue
Do you
points.
swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, in a civil infraction, because it's not a crime, you don't have the right not to testify. So the city is calling you as a witness. So would you come up and have a seat in the witness box?
What? Civil infraction, you don't have the right not to testify, and now you're called as the first witness at your own hearing. He's
Your
mad.
name is Cole Aaron Summey?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Mr. Reed?
Thank you. Does court need the spelling of his name, or is it?
No, we got it. S-U-M-M-E-Y.
And Mr. Summey, you were operating a motor vehicle within the city of Sturgis on April 27th, 2025, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes or no?
Yes.
And you were on Nottawa Road at or near Chicago, meaning US 12, the main intersection there at Nottawa Road at around 11:36 in the morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
And at that time, you came to the red light that was facing your direction.
You said 11:30 in the morning?
11:30 at night.
Oh.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And you were traveling southbound on Nottawa. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you came to the intersection of Chicago and Nottawa Road to a red light. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you proceeded through that red light before it turned green. Is that correct?
Yes, only because I didn't feel any resentment towards the fact that it's 2025, and I wouldn't expect tax dollars to go towards something that could easily tell me that there's no traffic. So I told myself, I made a citizen's good to go on that one.
You made citizens good to go that you're going to disregard the red light because you didn't feel there was any
I
risk.
didn't disregard it. I regarded it and then
Didn't stop for it,
Oh, I stopped.
but didn't wait till it turned green.
Correct.
So you understand that the traffic law requires you not to proceed until the light is green?
Yes, but I feel like that would just be going against what I know is right.
No other questions, people rest.
All right. Mr. Summey, is there anything else you'd like to tell me?
I mean, I just hurt my feelings to think that just because the light didn't turn green, I'm getting charged with disobeying the traffic signal. I didn't disobey it, but I didn't wait for it to tell me I'm good to go.
I didn't wait for it to tell me.
Okay. I'm not aware of a citizen's good to go. This is the busiest the second busiest intersection in Sturgis.
Every night that I get out of work and I go there, I'm sitting there unnecessarily. But like I said,
Now, they did change the law. You can turn left on a red light, right on a red light these days, but you can't just blow through it. I don't make the law, and you've essentially acknowledged that you committed it. There is no citizens good to go. You felt like nobody else was coming and you could just go through it.
I knew no one else was coming.
All right, well, that ain't what the law says. All right.
Don't you feel like that's a little unconstitutional? It's like something that is just
so arbitrary,
machine, like clockwork. This thing, and you as a citizen have to sit there. I really doubt our forefathers would be sitting there.
Well, maybe so. I don't think it's unconstitutional, and I don't think the Constitution envisions a red light. So you've wasted my time, caused a bunch of overtime for the Sturgis Police Department, so maybe that's some satisfaction.
It is a waste of time, really, but how is it on me?
Well, I find that you're responsible for the violation by your own admission. I'll use your $120 bond to pay the fine. 2 points will go on your record that won't cost your license. My suggestion is stop next time or you get another ticket for the same.
Stop, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Mr. Summey, you're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm trying to put all the points on the screen there. I'm trying to make it, everything you can do on the channel gives you points. That is hilarious. Josh.
Ms. Geschwint, let's take up your matter.
I think we're done. Do we stay for this one?
Yes, all right.
Let's see if this one's good as well. We just turned on points for the channel. It's it basically just spams chat, and you get points. The longer you get points for watching,
at least you didn't get up and say it didn't happen.
Get points
he
for checking
it
in.
Happened, but he had a different view of the world than.
Super chat gives you points as well. I think it's like buying points at that's Chuck E. Cheese. Super chat memberships, super stickers give points. But mostly it's like a daily check-in and per hour watched. I think is I think how it's designed. I haven't done much with it, But can you trade points? I think you can trade them in at the end of the day.
Mr. Jelinek, could you join us, please?
Oh, I think this is Josh. It's Josh or Tiffany. Shout out to Scott in the RA community for showing up last night. Great show. Scott, we love having you. Hope everyone has a great day. Oh, Judge is gone. He's gone. So thank you. I had a blast. Probably one of my favorite times appearing on the channel was last night. It was just a lot of fun. Love the new background. It's just wonderful. If you have not subscribed to Courtroom Confidential, or if you missed my brief appearance last night, please go back and watch it. The channel's amazing. Josh is great. Tiffany's great. Kai is great. I love that I get to see them or talk to them briefly in some cases. But a great channel. Good friends. Worth the follow. And they keep tabs on everything. That's it. It doesn't matter what court case you're watching. If it's happening right now in the world of true crime, they're probably following it, and you can watch and get updates and see where it's at, and talk to people who are either following it or involved in the case in one way or another. It's fantastic. But thank you very much for the super chat, and that I think got you some points, Josh. Points are a scam, but I can't help myself, says Greeners. Getting those points. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Points balance for a Warrior Crane. She's ranked 27 out of 776 total people with points. So that's how many people have checked in at least once. Now 777. So we're growing here. The points that they're talking about in this traffic ticket, it's in the United States, in a lot of states, if you get your license, you have the right to drive. Once you have the license and you do something bad and get caught for it, you have to get caught, like speeding or a moving violation. So it's not going to be. Usually, it wouldn't be like, oh, your wipers are ineffective, or you're missing a wiper, or you're missing a rearview mirror or something. It's going to be a moving violation, something you did while driving, a car crash. Something like that. You can accrue points on your license, and the points are basically like demerits in school. And once you have too many of them, they say you can no longer do this. Clearly, you don't understand the rules. At a certain point, you can say, well, I'll take a defensive driving class, or I'll do this many hours of community service, and it can work some points off. But if you get too many, you lose your license. There goes your right to drive. It is a privilege and can be taken away, and so the points are accrued that way. Maggie says, thanks for shutting me out this morning. I was late. My husband sent in the video of me at the County Board of Supervisors. AT&T wants to build a tower 60 feet from my house. But it's a fake tree. It's a fake tree tower. Maggie, I think you did a great job on the presentation. Thanks for the link. Tell your husband thank you. That was awesome. Very, very professional. Let's see. And I heard you affected some change going forward, which is good. There's the link to Courtroom Confidential. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that now. I'll even pause and wait for that. Seriously. Nope, now I clicked on it. You can't see that. If you haven't, let me show you what it looks like here. I think we're on 5, right? This is Courtroom Confidential's channel. This is what it should look like. And then you should click this button, and it should say subscribed right there. You can even ring this bell. Oh, I already have. I've already rung the bell. So you can't do that. But do that. As it shows here, they've got 36,000 subscribers. It was 35-something yesterday. They are the fastest growing channel in the LawTube community. So wonderful. Let's see. Anything? Well, I lost my chat. Where was chat? I think we've got a couple messages I need to call out as a thank you. So give me just a second to pop out chat here and make it full screen and make it that one and put it on screen. There we go. Okay, this is the best live stream. Thank you, sample user. Kelly H, thanks for starting everything this morning, giving a membership. Darlene gifted 5 memberships today. Meg Osborne, 1 more month, you'll hit 24, but 23, a member of the jury, an OG there. Thank you very much, Meg. Looking forward to next month as well for you. Raina gifted 10 memberships. I know Raina was at Courtroom Confidential last night as well. I saw you there, being generous as well. Thank you for all your support. Brandy Joe, but didn't he get away and drive back? How was that self-defense? He came back, I know, and that's an issue, but we're hearing that he might not have been the instigator on the coming back. Maybe he was. We'll see. MLS, will Church well be sleeping again? Hopefully not. Sloth Life, gifted membership. Sloth Life, thank you very much for calling. Good to hear your voice. We're hoping and praying for the best for you over there. Good to hear Scotland checking in on the channel, though. Gumgato 3, gifted a membership. Ricky gifted 5, and then Gumgato gifted another. Thank you. I hope I'm saying that right. Welcome, and thank you. Red Pen, can you buy points? It does work that way, yes. Points are a scam, but I can't help myself. Red Pen gifted 10 memberships. I think that also buys Red Pen points. Paula Mack, member for 25 months, says, hello, everyone. What a fun trip it's been with everyone. It's been great. It's been wonderful. I am so excited to be done remodeling my bathroom. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be done. I'm so stinking close. I think today, if you guys will give me half a day, I can get the ceiling. I have to paint the ceiling, and I can get the flooring done. The flooring is like that snap together fake wood flooring with like the pad on the bottom. It's nice. I like it. We've gone with the pine look, not the oak, even though they're the same price. I think we should, if it's the same price, you should buy the fake oak, not the fake pine. But we got the pine, and if I can get that installed tonight, then the toilet is ready to be installed. I just have to cut a little copper pipe coming out of the wall, attach the water, and be good to go. Baker Raid, welcome, Broken Bakers. Good to have you here. Anyone have any update on OnlyFans Courtney Clenny case? Shannon, that is a difficult one to follow because YouTube has terms of service that prevent us from talking or showing certain things. And that case, the evidence in that case is normally behind a paywall. And I'm not talking from the court. I'm talking from OnlyFans. The material from her OnlyFans is evidence in that case. It's crazy. It involves her parents, her dad, their computer, bunch of stuff. But yeah, the idea that you can throw a knife from across the room and kill somebody, apparently so. So I don't have any updates on that one. If you hear anything, let us know. I'd like to know how it turns out, but I don't think we'll be able to follow it for you because of the content. Bree Roz, member for 2 months, says, oh, back to 2 months today. Welcome. Good to have that. Congratulations. I've been blacklisted on having a green name. Redford, I don't know why. Did Cobra get continued? I have not heard a decision from the judge yet. If the Ari is ignoring me, why did I ignore you? Tisha, I didn't ignore you. I'm not ignoring anybody. I think, does points only work for members? No, it doesn't work. It works for everybody. See, Tequila Mockingbird got points right there. I don't think the judge has a decision yet on Brian Koberger, but in the past he's been wanting to keep the date on schedule. That's August 11th for a start, which means really soon. I'm a member and it doesn't work, says Lois. I don't have any updates on the corn rake trial, and I don't think I will. I'm not pursuing that at all. So if you hear anything, you're welcome to share it in chat, but I have not followed that at all. After we followed the trial. Carol says, Samantha or Josh, please list RA's Venmo again. Hey, yeah, do that. That would be cool. I think exclamation point Venmo would do it. That's it. That's the one. Everyone ignores me here. I'm used to it, says Susie. I'm sorry, it's going fast. Bite Me says, RA ignores me all the time. Yeah, you would not want to explain your subscription to see that paywall. I'm just saying that there's so much content that might be very, first of all, demonetized on the YouTube platform, which de-incentivizes anyone from covering it because it's all the same amount of work, but there's no pay for it. It's just it's a spicy trial, but the OnlyFans trial is spicy, but I don't think we're going to get a lot of coverage there. It'll mostly be blurred out. I think the audit system is overloaded right now. RA, we need Discord. I have fought against that. I don't want to have my own Discord, but as the gavel drops has a Discord that they are kind enough to adopt us into, and that would be the one where I'd recommend you go. But what I need to do is I need to do more over there. like lives and not lives, but like chatting, some chat rooms. Jules, I want points. I want points. I'll see if we can fix the point system. The only thing I don't like about it is that it posts everything and it spams chat. I would love to keep the point system active because it's a fun way for people to check and see how many days they've been in a row or whatever else. But it just makes chat go so fast. If there's a way I can slow it down so it doesn't just spam chat all the time, I would keep it active. We're having requests for a song for the finish. I can do that because it's a special day. At least I think I can. Let's see, did I have Suno? Oh, there it is. It's all even pulled up. Let's see, library, public, gray's the new green. We'll do a special song for y'all. Hopefully not too loud as a finish. Greener says, if you want to, you could just do a manual point system yourself via postal mail. Yeah, and then free sticker for each person. No, Greeners, no. You know how much work that is? All right, we are done for today. The court has a half day off. It's my anniversary, 32. Congratulations, Judy. I have YouTube Premium Lite, $7.99 a month after the 30 days. That's a good deal. It's a good deal. Could you make a way for points to be visible only for the person who requested? That sounds like it would be a YouTube feature, and these points are run by Lumia Stream. Lumia Stream is the software I use to track and responds to all your comments, like to all the exclamation point commands and triggers, things like that. It's that same system. I will look and see what we can do. Hold on, just before we go. Tell you what, let me play the song briefly for you. If I play the song, well, I see if I can get this fixed. That'd be good. So, Gray's the New Green by special request on our public Suno playlist. Here we go.
In the land of pixels, here we meet. Gray's the color of our simple seats. No flashy lights, no fancy schemes.
There's nothing in the order that restrains you from talking to cats.
It's low-key love in a cyber dream. Slow mode life, we're taking it easy. Calm in the chat, everything looks breezy. No golden throne, no crown on screen. Yet still I feel like royalty unseen. Gray is the new green, don't you know? In the digital glow, we take it slow. No need for emojis or special code. We're riding high on this mellow road. Gifted green lights up the scene. A ticket to a world unseen. But here in gray, we find our creed. No extra flair, just what we need. No temp seats, no quick retreats, just hanging out in these cyber streets. Gray dust clouds, our silent beam, a hidden treasure in the live stream. Gray is the new.
Okay, Lois, checkpoints again.
No need for
Well, the song finishes up here. We're going to, there we go. All right, Lois, I fixed it. Here's what I have to do. I don't know why. I manually added you. If there's someone who is not in the list, I'm willing to do this. I've got half a day. I'll fix the bathroom and I'll add everybody to the points list. Can you fix mine, Rena? Let's see. I can try. Let's. I'm not sure. You've got an emoji in your name. That's the problem. I could reset everybody. That's terrible. A terrible idea. Because we've got, right now, Weather Watch is winning with 950. And Samantha Terry and Amber. I guess, mods get extra points. Nice. Mods get extra points. That's why. I don't know how to add somebody if you have an emoji in your name. Because I have to be able to type it in here manually. Who's the number one mod? Samantha Terry, Amber, and Weather Watch currently are in the lead. Sorry, Josh. I don't know. 6 volt. I don't know why I put you in the lead. Red Pen, I think you're on here, right? Yeah, Red Pen's in 761.
Squirrel.
Does that work?
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
Angela, let me see if I can. I'm going to try to add you really quickly, Angela. Just 1 second. Users. Add new user. You are on YouTube. Add you with 1 point to see if it will add more.
Adjust subject matter jurisdiction.
Okay, I added Angela. Now, Angela, if you check again.
I saw a chicken fight. Scratch all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
Okay, well, I'll try to figure this out. If it doesn't work for most people, then that's no fun. But
I don't like podiums, Your Honor.
I don't either.
The zombie apocalypse may be upon us.
Okay, we're trying.
Don't miss the forest for the trees.
Thank you, sir. You're my new best friend.
What more do you need to see?
Heidi Escobedo. Sorry.
Because he's the guy.
I'm going to add you, but I don't know. What I want to make sure is that it's working. So you actually accrue points.
Bring the jury.
Late, but.
In front of the Walmart.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
Soon, guys. Soon. Okay. Added a few. Sloth Life says your point. Sloth Life, we'll see if we can get you on there.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye.
Alex stole it.
Okay, we'll see if we can figure this out.
Somebody just sent me a video of roaches fighting.
I don't know
who won.
Sorry, guys, we're basically done for the day. I'm just working on this so that you know it gets done right now.
Because he's the guy.
What is the point of points? There's no real point.
Taking it easy.
Happy birthday. You look good.
Is that correct?
Okay.
Shame on you, sir.
Please make everyone in chat a mod for a day so we can get extra points. I'm going to turn off the extra points for mods is what I'm going to do. And I might reset our mod points because that's, let's see. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Alex stole it.
I can merge existing usernames with somebody else. I can do cool stuff.
In front of the Walmart.
Samantha Terry now is taking the lead over Weatherwatch. All the points remain the same. I don't know why. So I think it's not fair for the mods to win all the time. We know that they're number one in my book, but will you give me 45% of Amber's points and 2% of Samantha Terry's? Based on workload carried. Laura, the points do not help with gifted at all. As far as I think possibly gifting memberships may give you points, but it might be the same point to gift one membership or 10,000. They're not connected to YouTube that way. I'm 38 in Ari's book. I'm gonna turn off the points for mods, or at least the special points for mods settings. Mods get 2 times points. Manage alert, manage user levels.
And now let Murdoch stole it.
Mods do get a bonus point. 1 bonus point. Okay. The first chatter of the day is going to get 100 points. A YouTube sticker grants 100 points. A YouTube super chat grants 100 points, and a YouTube member grants 100 points. I think that's what it's going to be. Everything's the same. I should probably put different levels. Any other YouTube entrants? 10 points. YouTube subscriber? 50 points. How about that? I don't think I could add anything else YouTube related. Those are all the things I could do with YouTube. All right.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye.
We'll probably turn off points eventually. Raina, we're going to get you figured out. Let me see if I can. Let me do this. If I copy like this. Copy. See what I just did here? Wait.
In front of the Walmart.
Added. Add new user. Paste. And it does add the...
I was told council wanted to see me
Okay,
inside
Rena,
back.
you're added. We got you. Anybody else I need to do really quickly before we wrap up and play the music and I go work on the bathroom?
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
Do you have a podcast tonight at 8 p.m.? Please join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. More fun than this, I can promise you that.
Have them send someone with more experience.
I don't know if we're going to keep points around. I want to see if I can make it less pointy. Betsy Jean. Lois, I know I've added you. Those who got added manually, I want to keep it active long enough to see if, like tomorrow, if you log in, it shows that it counts, like it's linked you two together. Betsy Jean.
There's nothing in the order that restrains you from talking to cats.
Nothing. We can talk to cats. Okay, you're added, Betsy. And if points do work, I'm going to reset everybody. Like if we get to a point where we want to do this on the channel without it, like my idea is like first thing in the morning when we're doing our fun stuff and our birthday wishes and everything, that's when we do points, and then during trial itself we sort of just not mess with it. It will keep tracking, but it's the idea. Janet. I do need to find out what you can do with points as well. Can you exchange points for a holiday package? They're like travel credits. You accrue them and they do expire, I guess. All right, I've added a few people. I know there are a couple that I haven't added yet. I'll try to figure it out and get it decided if it's something we want to do or not. Settings enabled. Right point. There's a time base. You get 100 points per 60-minute watched. You get 100 points for a check-in. Everything's 100 points. There are some alert-based points. I think we're going to dial it down a bit so the scores are not so massive. But let's see. User level based. Manage user levels. Mod member, subscriber, anyone. Okay. Ooh. Okay. All right, so I've got some work to do. There's a raffle option I'm trying to figure out. I'm not sure if that works with points. Create a new raffle. Make it a guessing game. Okay, there's all sorts of stuff I'm paying for. I should probably use. All right, let's play the music and end this so you guys can go about your day. I'm going to start in the bathroom. Day 6 is in the books. I think we might have the prosecution arrest tomorrow. It's a possibility. We're going to hear from Tyler, one more person who's got signed a deal, I think. Can Josh get points for finding cases? I think so. Josh beats Amber to the punch. Thank you very much for this. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone to make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again tomorrow, same time for the big finish, I think, of the state's case. Fingers crossed. I think we're going to be there. Also, we're going to be live again tonight. Sorry. Live tonight for the podcast, 8 p.m. Please be here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Weather Watch has put together a huge rundown that is awesome. It's got some great stuff in it that you should all see. I'm going to work on the bathroom. I'm going to work on points and gamble 20. Yes, we need the gamble option. Is that a thing? Scroll up and see my comment. Angelo. I'm looking. Did he tag me in it? I don't see it. You didn't tag me in it. It must have scrolled off the screen. I can't see it. You might have to retype it. It's getting too late. Oh no. Posted it again. I did. That's all I got. So the music's ended and I'm still here. Truth be told, we're going to figure out the points for everybody and make it work. Catching it for an Airbnb stay. Post it again. Angela, it's not posting. I'm not seeing it on the screen.
Because he's the guy.
Josh. Oops, that was just to me. I wasn't supposed to click on that.
I'm not a cat.
Yeah, it's going nuts. We'll get this. Angela, I don't know why it's not appearing. Are you saying bad words in chat? It seems to be getting caught by a filter or something. I'm scrolling up and it's not coming on the screen. I don't want to end it and not have it.
Hear ye.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
We're breaking for lunch right now. It doesn't like one of the words you've used in it. It's one of the words you've used for some reason is in our filter. I know some of the words are completely innocuous, but it's all good. All right, music's ended. I'm going away. You guys have a great day. I'm going to work on the bathroom. We'll see you tonight for the podcast. Have a good one. Bye. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hang on. Ended terribly. Let's do this one here.
Have them
There we
send
go.
someone with more experience.
I was kicked back taking it easy.